Okay, it says we're going live. It says
So it
we're
does.
here.
Yep.
Do we remember our name?
Um.
Well, here, we'll start like this. Hello,
Hi,
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Ah. Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly virtual Munch BDSM Q&A, hanging out to just chit-chat thing that we do here, live stream. We are here 2 minutes before our official actual start time. So, yeah. Multiple things. We unintentionally match. I just realized that. We're both wearing purple. We did not go out in public like this today. I
No.
put this on when we came home.
See, I had this on before we left.
But I wore this at 6 o'clock this morning, or 7 o'clock this morning to go pick up groceries. So I win. We are here a couple minutes early. It is 9:30. I'll probably say this a couple times over the course of this. We do a Q&A for this live stream, but not until 10 p.m. our time or 30 minutes after the start time, because we want to ease into the stream. We also have to complain about a couple things, because isn't that what we do? And just general chit chat before we get to any questions. I will go over how that works when we get there, but I'll go ahead and warn anybody who thinks they want to spam the chat with questions. At least one of our moderators is here tonight, and she don't play. So fuck around and find out is how that one's gonna go. So
It won't be pretty.
No spamming, no inappropriate whatever. But otherwise, at the designated time of approximately 30 minutes from the start, we will open it up for questions, and I'll tell you how to do it then. And until then, we're just going to hang out and chit-chat. I also completely screwed up any monetization we had by dropping an F-bomb in the first 5 minutes.
It wasn't me this time.
Before we complain, I would like to say hello to folks. Yep. Can I do that?
Hello, folks.
I knew you were going to do that.
And welcome, Elizabeth. Happy to have you here for the first time.
Hi, X. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Kim. Hi, Tammy. I would say I'm a quiet person when we know that's not true, but I am a quiet person online, so I feel you. Hi, Silent Wing. Hi, Eva, for however long you can be here. Hi, C. Stevens. Hi, Rara. Hi, JB. Name twin. Hi, Aria. We did not do the color scheme on purpose, but it did work out that way. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Matt. Hi, Molly. Hi, another Nikki, not to be confused with the first Nikki, but hi to all the Nikkies. However many Nikkies there are, hello to all of you. If you are a podcast listener and not usually a YouTube person, we know that there's no podcast out. That's the first thing I would like to complain about. Our website went down Thursday. Hi, Meg. Thursday.
All of the websites.
Because the server where
the hosting service,
where our sites are hosted, went down. And we have a tech person who is on top of it and has not slept a lot over the past 2 days, apparently. Poor thing. But our sites are all still down, which means that the live stream that we did on Wednesday, the podcast version of that, I couldn't publish that. Since I couldn't link to stuff, I didn't do a newsletter. Also, they got a little chaotic with my mom being in town, so I was like, oh, I don't have a lot of time. And then if you happen to like, weapons of ass destruction, and you're like, oh, but what about the Kinkery? The Kinkery, the shop, is also down.
Yeah.
But we're here with a smile on our face.
Yep. And yes, Eva, I cut my hair. I didn't just cut it, I buzzed it down to nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's 2 days. We know. I've fielded very thoughtful DMs. I've had people reach out. I've had people more worried about it than I seem to be, and I'm beyond worried about it. Meaning, we've been down this road.
Yeah.
Over all the years of having websites since 2014, self-hosted. 2014, or did I go self-hosted in 2013? Either way, the moment I, had to start doing that.
Well, I think the worst
I'm
time
immune to
was
it now.
When we stepped off the plane in London that time for Eroticon.
We stepped onto the plane. We were in the airport with our tech person 6 hours ahead, whatever. It was late night for us. It was middle of the night for them. There was nothing they could do. It's a 10-hour flight. There was nothing we could do, and all our sites crashed. That was fun.
Yeah.
So once you've gone through that about, half a dozen times, you just sort of go, yeah, this sucks.
Right. Yeah. It's frustrating because the other day I handed Kayla here a list of inventory to update.
And what's funny is I'm telling you, the sites are down. There's a server issue. I've talked to Michael, our tech guy. He's on it. He's taking care of it. Okay, fine. And then I, in the next breath, go, don't worry. I'll update the inventory. And then I went, no, actually, I will not.
No.
If somebody's tried to email the shop site for help, probably can't. I hadn't seen that email because that is also connected. So it's like, well, just... hi, we're here. But we kept this going.
Yeah.
Which kills me because in the podcast episode, it's like the day this goes live is the live stream. Lies. I don't even know if I'll get the episode out on Saturday. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know when the sites will be out.
I was kind of wondering, considering the storms we've been having, we had a real frog strangler here.
Oh, sure.
Just a little while ago.
Are we going to lose power? Or are we going to lose internet?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the icing on the cake for this weird little internet kerfuffle
thing we do.
Yeah.
I know.
So
we have so many people here tonight. It's wonderful seeing all these people.
It is wonderful.
So a lot of our regulars and a lot of new folks.
A lot of new folks.
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah, we
I'm a little verklempt tonight.
I can tonight, as in not every other night. We had said on the live stream on Wednesday, and whenever podcast listeners get to listen to it, that we weren't sure would we be on time because during a normal visit, like when my mom only comes for 4 days, not 10, Friday night she'll stay kind of late. My mother left our house at 3:30 this afternoon. We had time to go get dinner and go to Lowe's and spend way too much time in Lowe's and come home. I was tempted to take a nap. I did not.
I had a good time at Lowe's.
I know you did. You were touching all the tools. So many tools. He just parked the cart with things we'd already put in it because we had to get some ceiling fans because that's how you know you're an adult when you're like, I'm buying ceiling fans now. And me and the 12-year-old just stood there because we didn't care about putting our hands on all the tools. And finally, I lost sight of the top of your head. He's not a tall man. It's going to happen. And I sent the kid to go find you. And he goes, he's trying out tools. And I went, you stand by the cart. Let me go find. And every time I walk by there, you were squeezing things. And I was like, are you having a good time? I don't.
Yeah. So silent. What I said was frog strangler.
What did
she said? Frog what? It is a very, very heavy rainstorm, and Dustin, I've never heard of a chicken choker. But,
I mean, I have heard of choking the chicken, but it had nothing to do with rain.
Yeah. Now I will say a frog strangler is worse than a gully washer.
Oh yeah, gully washer's pretty bad, but
yeah.
if we're to the point where the frogs are drowning, it's a bad day. It's a bad day. I think you just like pulling out these old timey expressions to see if anybody's paying attention. That's what I think. Also, I think now that you are like firmly in your 60s at 61, you're just embracing it. Last year was the year of the identity crisis.
Yes.
What do you mean I'm 60? Now he's 61 and he's like, I can take it a notch above dad jokes and go old man jokes. I'm here for it. So you've been warned. I think it's only going to get worse from here. Eventually we'll get to pull my finger. I promise you. The only men I've ever known who did that joke were all mid-60s and older.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And Andre, I was gonna.
Thank you for the birthday wish.
And Andre, yes, yes, I am. I didn't start using it till I finished the one I had already because I have to do that. And I just started using it recently, and it's delightful, and it smells really good. And for anybody who's like, what? It is a body butter that's an oil-based body butter, but it stays solid until you actually like rub it into your skin, which is really, really nice. Instead of having it kind of be goopy and rub it in. Yeah. It's really nice. It smells like lavender. It's delicious. So what else? Well, if you're making a bad joke,
a database.
See, join the club. The bad jokes are flying. It's fine. It's fine.
Frog Strangler and Gully Washer is kind of a southern.
Gully Washer. Frog Strangler, I'm not 100% like familiar with.
Okay.
I've only ever heard you use it. But there are other expressions that I associate with southern idioms, but they certainly could be well known other places. I fully admit that. What is it? Useless as tits on a boar.
I've heard tits on a bull. Useless as tits on a bull.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Wow, I'm tired. What's the one about wit? The witch's colder than a witch's tit. Yeah. Colder than a witch's. Yeah, useless as tits on a bull. Colder than a witch's tit. We are really obsessed with tits around here in the South. I can tell you that. And with my mother being in town, my accent's like thickened. We were having lunch today. It was us and the almost 17-year-old, the 16-year-old. And the more she talked and I talked, the more the drawl
the more it came out. Yeah.
So what else? What are some others that I can think of? So, okay, good. It's a X. Did you know I was going to say the word that I can't say in response?
Come on.
Say.
Get it out.
I can't. I choke on the word every time. It's a rural expression. Like I get lockjaw from my mouth. Goes, huh? How do we form that word? So we're it's been a wild week.
Yeah.
I've had a good time with my mom being here.
Yeah.
She, it's funny when she's only here for sometimes 4 days, 5 max if you're lucky. We cram everything in, and I'm exhausted by the end of that weekend. But this 10-day deal, and we missed out on 3 days because of Rona Mary. It's been. She's needed her time and space away from everybody, and then she's found a really good balance of bouncing between her sister and me, and so. She went to dinner with us Tuesday night for your birthday.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday night, she was with us Wednesday night. Was she with us Wednesday night? They've already all blurred together.
I don't remember Wednesday night.
I don't remember Wednesday night.
Okay.
Yeah. Thursday
we went shopping.
Well,
we had to do our...
Yeah, Thursday she was with my aunt and uncle. Tonight she's with my aunt and uncle. Tomorrow we're all together. Yeah, because Wednesday... We went to see Thor Wednesday.
That's right.
We had popcorn for dinner Wednesday. That's why I don't remember what we had for dinner.
Popcorn and a Diet Coke.
It was... Yeah, and I've decided I don't want to share popcorn with you again. I love you so much. I'll share... almost anything with you. It cannot be popcorn.
You hurt my feelings.
Let me explain to you.
My feelings are hurt.
Let me explain to you how this went. First
you got
of all,
some splaining to do.
Oh, I will. So we got a large to share because that was more than enough. And we got a large drink. We now have Minions cups, and we didn't even go see Minions. So we sit down, and you did the good thing, and you held onto the popcorn between us so I could access it.
Right.
But y'all, he literally put his arm around it like he was on a date with it. Multiple times we went to reach for the popcorn.
I was afraid it would drop. I wanted to make sure I had a good hold on it so it didn't fall.
We were sitting in recliners. This was not the sticky floor cheap theater we usually go to. My mother went, no, I'd like to go to Quality and I'll pay. And I went, okay, if you're buying, I'll go. So he puts his arm around the bag of popcorn, and several times, as you do, both of us went to dip our hands in. Except we didn't do the romantic, both our hands in. Every time my hand went in, you pulled your hand away, which was fine, because I did the same if I noticed. But you sighed. I don't even know if you did it.
I did not.
Every time. I was like, am I inconveniencing you by reaching for the popcorn? Now, were we in our seats 30 minutes before the movie started? And was there any popcorn once all the trailers played? I don't think so.
Yes, there was.
Not for me. I stopped eating.
Well, that's your fault.
I kept getting sighed at while he cuddled the popcorn.
I call bullshit.
Cuddled the popcorn.
That I don't deny.
I do not deny.
I said
I
I'd want to make sure it wasn't going to go anywhere. But I call bullshit on the
Oh my God, you had such an expression on your face. Oh my God. So, yeah.
So,
no.
Eva, no, we're not going to really talk about that here in the forum.
Not publicly.
Not publicly. No. I may give an update in Discord.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're now in like dealing with lawyers and stuff. No, we're not talking about that. But for anybody who's like, what the hell are they not talking about? The motorcycle drama from September 2021 continues.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, it's wild. This week's been wild. We were dealing with that. We started dealing with that last week. You kept talking to folks this week about all that. Then we got good news, but it's very stressful. I almost cried in a bookstore. I almost cried in an Old Navy. Had to do school clothes shopping for the oldest for the first time in like a couple years. Normally he's like, I don't want to go shopping with you there, mother. And realized that men's clothes are expensive. I was like, damn, he needed what we got.
I know.
None of it was wasteful, but I was watching it rack up on the thing, and I was like, that's a lot of damn money. And then I bought a very nice thing at the bookstore today because I could, and it was nice to be able to do it, but I stressed myself out and almost cried in the bookstore.
Yeah,
almost pulled a muscle in the bookstore trying to carry it.
I got choked up on the phone dealing with all this stuff because I didn't think it was real.
So what I will say is John, JB's mom, I've had to call you John all week, and I almost did it, and I hate calling you that. JB's mom died, several weeks ago. We've talked about that. Well, she has left us some level of inheritance. It's not a lot, but it's like a bit of a windfall. And and we unexpectedly got more this week, and we didn't get a notice that we were supposed to. So we're like, is this really real money, or are they about to snatch it back out? So we wouldn't touch it till we got somebody to tell us it was real. And then I went, well, I guess everybody gets new school clothes this summer. Okay. You too can have a new pair of shoes. Great.
Good, because I was getting tired of making those wood shoes.
I know, right? So, yeah, it was weird. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time with my mom this week, so that was nice.
Several people asked if we enjoyed the movie. It was a good movie.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was kind of there were some cheeky, campy moments in it.
Absolutely absurd, silly stuff. Very comic book style,
I
bright,
won't,
colorful,
we won't go into too much to give any spoilers or anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. I did find it to be enjoyable.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. We all did. My mother, who does not watch Marvel movies, I think the only Marvel movies she's ever seen are the ones she's gone to the theater with us to see.
Yeah.
I think this is the second or third time she's done that with us. Even she liked it. She's like, I didn't have context for anything, but sure, it was great.
Right.
I'm going, my mom, myself, my aunt, and uncle, we're going to see Where the Crawdads Sing. Am I getting that title right? On Sunday. You're right. You didn't have to look quite so gleeful. Actually, he was not gleeful. We had talked about we're doing a big family dinner on Saturday, tomorrow. And then we had thought we were going to go do like a late night movie that same day. We weren't 100% sure. And then the sisters started talking and they were like, okay, why don't we do it Sunday? And I had said, oh, well, Sunday, because I knew the kids weren't going to want to go. That's not their kind of movie. And you had kind of gone, yeah, I guess I'll go. But he only thought to say, yeah, I guess, after we looked up what the synopsis was, because both of us were like, I don't know what this movie's about. And I haven't read the book. So then I'd start telling him, the plans seem to be changing. I think we're going to this movie on Sunday. And his first reaction was, oh, are you kidding me? And I said, well, you don't have to go. I mean, it's not a movie that you and I are desperate to see. I'll go because my mom's going to buy the movie ticket. I know her, and I like popcorn. It's fine. And I won't have to share my popcorn. And it's, the last day my mom's in town, it's an opportunity to go see her and hang around her and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you can stay home. And then he was like, oh, okay, I can stay home. I was like, yeah, all my boys can stay home. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So when we went to Thor, there were like 10 other people in the theater. That was cool. That was a Wednesday night. I don't know what Sundays.
Seems like Wednesday nights are.
I guess that's
the night to go to movie here
from now on. That was delightful because this movie, by the time we had seen it, it had only been out 5 days, and I figured, and they had 2 or 3 theaters for it, dedicated for it. Yeah, and I was like, oh, this will be packed out. It's the summertime. And we had a whole row to ourselves, and nobody around us. It was delightful. So. Silent Week, I do make popcorn at home, but movie theater popcorn is better and greasier and saltier. Yeah, Nikki, I can make it at home, but it's not the same.
I can come close. Not the way you make it. I can come close to it.
How? And why aren't you?
No one ever asked me.
No one told me you had the skill. How could I know to ask you if I don't know?
You didn't realize I had skills to make an omelet until you came in one day and you're like,
and you had already
making an omelet?
No. You want to know how I learned he had the skills to make an omelet? After he had made himself an omelet and did not offer me an omelet. And I'm like, I too would like an omelet. How do I know to ask for something?
And I have made you omelets since.
No, since. But there have been a couple times you skipped over me. You just made yourself an omelet. And then I walk in later, I'm like, wait, an omelet was an option today?
That's because you don't get out of bed on the weekends. And I ain't waiting for you to eat.
God, I try not to. I will, but I try not to. The only thing I don't like is the little kernel things getting in my teeth. Because those will mess up my gums so bad. I don't know that we've ever had the popcorn discussion during the hangout live stream. We've talked about pie. We've talked about cake. We've talked about all kinds of foods. I don't know that we've ever had the popcorn
this is a first.
discussion.
This is a first.
Will eat kettle corn. It's not my favorite. I actually don't, I like my popcorn to be so salty that my tongue like shrinks into itself a little bit and so greasy that my lips are shiny like I'm wearing gloss. That's what I like.
I like shredded Parmesan.
Now when I make
on the
popcorn at home, I like shredded cheddar on it. I do like that. Wow, don't get butter flavor in the UK. I'm sorry. Look, I'll agree with that. The UK does have standards because being able to go to the UK and eat bread without feeling miserable was delightful. And I know standards of ingredients was part of that, but the salty, greasy part of movie theater popcorn is because I don't have standards. That's why I enjoy it so much. We get extra butter too, Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled the popcorn out. It was a self-serve thing at the theater we went to, which I had never done before. I'm used to always having a counter. We had to get employees who worked there to explain the entire process to us because we had pre-bought tickets. We were like, how do we check in? I had to go to the touch screen. We're looking at the menu at the food counter. We're like, how do we do this? Somebody had to tell us. Then I was like, where do we pay? I mean, it was like we had never been in a movie theater before. Anyway,
it was newfangled.
It was newfangled. They let us out, and we went to that new movie theater. So I pull out the large popcorn because I'm sharing with JB, which we're not doing ever again. Anyway, I immediately hand it over because I know the one thing I'll say. You are good at this. I grab the popcorn, I hand the popcorn, you rush to the grease station of the fake butter flavored oil. And it is delightful. And
I knew what to do.
Good job.
Well, it kind of threw me at the snack stand too because it's the first time I have ever seen self-serve at a movie theater.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're doing it to cut costs because they had people working behind the counters, but they were not rushing around getting popcorn everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it also meant that I was standing at the counter looking at everything, looking at the menu going, how does this work?
Yeah. Now, see, one of the tricks I had learned when I used to make popcorn all the time had an air popper and pre-melted the butter.
Oh, okay.
So as the popcorn popped into the bowl,
the butter was getting on it.
I was putting the butter on it, so it was all through the popcorn.
Oh, my God.
Not just on top.
I want my lips and my tongue to burn, and I want my fingers to be shiny.
That was the only thing that upset me. They did have a salt shaker there. It was empty.
Well, what even is the point? I've tried the popcorns that are the light popcorns, and it's like not a lot of butter, no butter, and I'm like, I'm just eating air. I'm not interested.
I've done it that way too. I do a little bit of oil in the bottom of a pan and put the corn in there and the lid and just let it pop. I've done that too.
I'm already out of water.
There's many ways to pop a corn kernel.
I would like to go to the movie theater and get a bag as big as my damn head. Actually, if I'm eating it by myself, I don't need that. I don't need the large at all. It's way too much.
Yeah. There definitely is a different taste.
Yeah.
A different flavor
because even when you buy the Orville Redenbacher movie theater popcorn, it's the best one to me because it's the closest. But
I was going to say between the air popper and doing it in a pot.
Oh, I've never done it.
There's definitely
I know how
flavors.
to do the kind that goes in the microwave in the bag with all of the chemicals. That's what I know how to do. Yeah,
I know.
That's what I know how to do.
I know. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Cracker Jacks. You know what? I'll say this.
Yeah.
I don't like sweet popcorn, but I like that. I think it's because I always like the nuts more than I like the popcorn
Used to love me some Cracker Jack. And the toys in it too. Always a cool toy.
I remember when the toys started to suck.
Yeah.
That was a sad day. That also just proves just how old I am. There's in my mind a time before when the toy and the Cracker Jack was good, and then after it's shitty.
Well, I haven't done it in a while, but another good movie snack are Junior Mints.
You just like anything chocolate and mint, though.
Well, I do. But...
I mean, was it you that would get the Raisinets back in the day when we would?
Oh yeah.
I don't mind raisins. I'm fine with them. I'll take an oatmeal cookie with raisins. My oatmeal put some raisins in it. I love chocolate. That's not even do not combine the two. It's just wrong. I don't like it. I think it's the texture more than anything. Because raisins are chewy and they're not tart, but they're it's not as sweet as a grape anymore.
No,
and then you put the chocolate over it, and I'm just chewing down. And if it's chocolate, I'm like, what is this funky thing in the center of my chocolate?
Good,
I don't like it.
I
like chocolate covered nuts. I think that's great, but no, I don't like chocolate.
Love Raisinets.
Nope.
Don't like Goobers though.
I can't even remember what those taste like. I know I don't like them, but I don't remember why.
Yeah.
Which ones are those?
Those are the nuts, I think. The chocolate covered. I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
But I
know.
remember the jingle, goobers and raisinets.
Oh, we are a mint chocolate family over here. Peppermint patties are the best. Your Father's Day gift from the oldest was a bunch of peppermint patties.
Yeah.
My Mother's Day gift was potato chips and a Diet Coke because he gets us on a deep level. Hey, he went out and did it himself, so it counts. It's like whatever.
Right.
Yeah. You still got, I think, some Andes in the refrigerator probably somewhere that desperately need to be eaten.
Yeah.
We have 2 types of things that are Thin Mint-esque flavored. One is like this cookie crumble thing that's coated in peppermint flavored chocolate. Is delicious. We got that from Sam's Club, actually. And then we found Thin Mint, Girl Scout Thin Mint chocolate covered pretzels at the Rural King, a word I can't say. And those are yummy. Like, I think you'd eat anything and everything. You have mint chocolate chip ice cream.
That's my favorite ice cream.
Every time. You don't even let me buy you another flavor.
Nope. Yep. I'm Minter.
Minter is coming. So we do Jordan's Skinny Syrups. They're sugar-free syrups for our coffee. And we found them and figured out that they existed at Bed Bath & Beyond. The price of Bed Bath & Beyond is better than the price you get on Amazon, weirdly. And they started running out of flavors and not carrying the wide variety of flavors we like. So I started shopping on bedbathandbeyond.com because it was cheaper than Amazon to get our syrups. And now we make sure to have what they call peppermint bark every month. It's just a chocolate peppermint flavored syrup for your coffee.
Yep.
There was the year I tried to bulk buy the peppermint mocha creamer at the grocery store and freeze the extras. That did not go well. We don't do that anymore.
No, that did not go well. It was a good try.
Which I tried. I wanted you to have peppermint chocolate flavor whatever in April is what I wanted.
Yeah, and I appreciated the try. Do you know, Kim, I have never had chocolate covered bacon. I mean, I like chocolate. It
does not
bacon,
appeal to me
but I've never had the opportunity to try it. I would like to at least try it.
I would probably take a bite, but I would not be excited to take the bite. I would take the bite. No, I have never tried chocolate covered potato chips, and that also I don't really.
But again, that's the salty and the sweet.
Yeah, I'm not normally a big lover of combining that so much. I mean, I can on certain things, but I think I would try it, and maybe I'd surprise myself and like it.
Never
but
know.
A part of my brain goes, I don't think you would. I don't think you would. I used to eat the darkest chocolate I could handle was about. I think I found one that was like an 80 or 81% or something. That was just on the edge of too damn bitter.
72 to 80 for me. I prefer the dark chocolate.
I'm not a huge fan of milk chocolate. I mean, I eat milk chocolate, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It's too sweet. And
like the Hershey's sweet, or the Hershey's dark.
That's way too sweet. That's too much damn sugar.
That's just sugar.
Yep.
So.
Okay, it is 10:01, and we can absolutely keep just talking about food because we're happy to do that. But this is the time that we open it up to Q&A if anybody's got any questions. Yes, you can also ask questions about what foods we eat. You can ask whatever. Right. So the way this works is if you have a question, please, as you're typing your question in the live chat, tag us at LovingBDSM. That allows us to actually see it as the chat flows. If you ask your question and tag it, and we don't immediately answer it, do not spam this chat. Our moderators will boot you with no remorse, okay? And they have our full authority to do it. And if you happen to ask a question that we cannot answer or won't answer, we'll just tell you. We have pretty strong boundaries. We're good with that. So, we already have a question. Thank you, Ashley. Have we tried candied bacon? Don't even know if I've heard of candied bacon.
I don't think I've heard of that either. No. No.
Would I? You know what? I think I've tried something that probably comes close. I think it does. And it was at the Bob Evans Do you remember when they did that? And they still have it. It's maple syrup
bacon. Yeah.
And part of my problem is I'm very particular on the consistency of my bacon. I want it crunchy like a potato chip. And the flavor was kind of okay because the maple flavor was subtle, but the bacon was chewy, and so I was not excited.
Yeah. You don't like...
No. So, I do like dark chocolate, but I have gotten to a point where too dark is... no, thank you. No, thank you. It's like eating a marker. No, thank you. Maddie, I won't do caramel or candy because it hurts my teeth, and I'm afraid I'm going to yank one out of my head trying to take a bite. Caramel is all... I do prefer caramel flavors, though.
True. Mm-hmm. I was never fond of either myself, whether caramel or candy apple. The last time I was even around them, I had access to them. It was like a kid's Halloween thing at a daycare I was a part of when I was like 7 or 8. That was about it. It was, and even then, caramel. I love caramel. Candy apple, caramel. Yeah. Love Not Hate asks the question. Okay. Do you have any tips for someone who wants to serve and has chronic pain? I really liked your video on burnout, and it taught me a lot. I think you have to find the balance between what it means to serve for the partner who you would be serving, because serving that in a way the partner hasn't asked for is not actually serving, and then you have to balance it with what you're physically capable of, which means that you may have to say, I can do that some of the time but not all of the time. It may mean that you agree to do something knowing that you'll have to tell your partner, and your partner will understand today is a high pain day, or I'm having mobility issues, or whatever the issue might be. You have to get really, really good at communicating when it's not a good day, and you got to have a partner who's willing to listen to you and pay attention and go, okay, I understand, what else can we do, or don't worry about it, or whatever. I don't think my headaches are what I would call chronic. Maybe a doctor would. I certainly get more migraines than I would like to. And I have to say to JB, I have a migraine right now. And he knows what that means now after all these years. And he does not expect me to do the things I would do on a day that I don't have a migraine. And I actually get upset if she tries to do them.
Because I try to. I don't want to not do it. But I also have learned some hard lessons that if I don't pay attention to what my body's telling me, it will keep me down longer, and which means I can do less. So if it's something within my control to at least not exacerbate and make worse, then I need to do that. But it's knowing your body's limitations,
right?
Communicating expectations with your partner, communicating what you're actually going through. Do not make yourself a martyr to your power exchange. Yeah, and try really hard to, practice self-forgiveness and be kind to yourself. You're not a bad kinkster if you can't do something all of the time or need to accommodate for whatever's going on with you. So, let's see. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yep.
And yes, thankfully, we have several people in the chat who can probably offer some real world experience. I'm scrolling. Okay. I love caramel, but my teeth and caramel don't always get along. If it gets stuck in there, or if it's too sweet, I'll have cause sensitivity with my teeth. For a while I was really going through it with tooth sensitivity, and I switched over to one of those sensitive toothpaste things, did a whole tube of it, and it seemed to work, and it hasn't come back, but I'm also more mindful. I try not to eat things that I know will, but now, I don't mind milk chocolate with cake, but the birthday cake we got for you this week was lots of chocolate, but a lot of the ganache and stuff was dark chocolate, and that helped. Yeah. It kind of cut the sweet, so. I hate white chocolate. It's not even chocolate, and it's way too sweet. Oh, it's way too sweet. I don't mind like things like a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie, kind of like classic combo, but I would not call that it's not chocolate. It's just a nice sweet to go to offset the macadamia nut.
Yeah.
But it's not chocolate.
So, I believe somebody asked a question.
I see that. Tammy asks, how do you attend a local munch when you are quiet and shy? You go and you just be quiet and shy?
Right. One suggestion I would say, many of the people who organize munches are great. Reach out to that person and just explain to them, I really want to attend. I'm kind of quiet, a little shy. And, they will... more times than not, they will work with you and they'll be like, that's okay.
Right. They'll say, hey, come find me, or they'll look for you when you arrive. Sometimes they might have somebody that they kind of designate to help newcomers. Yeah. Also, as a person who, I know nobody is going to believe it, when I go to a new to me munch, I don't have a lot to say at first. I'm very reserved. I'm very quiet. And I don't want to talk, and you can't make me. No, JB can make me, but nobody else can make me. There's nothing wrong with going to a thing like that and sitting and being quiet. You're going to come across people who might try to draw you into conversation, and you decide in that moment, are you feeling the comfort of that? What should happen, in my opinion, in a decent community is that people at least say hi to you and try to make you feel welcome. Right. If you're absolutely flat ass ignored, I'm going to look at that and say that's a problem. I'll call that a problem because we've had that happen and that was a problem to me. But it's okay to be quiet and shy. You don't have to jump into the middle of conversations. You don't have to become everybody's best friend. You don't have to introduce yourself to every single person on your first visit. If you are fortunate enough to already have a kink friend in the community or somebody who can join you, that can make it easier. At least you're not going by yourself. But yeah, the best thing is what JB said. If you can see who the organizer is, probably on FetLife, and message them and go, I want to go. I'm a little nervous. It's my first one. Good organizers are going to try and help you out because they're trying to grow the community and get more people in, and they're going to want to help you. And
like Rara just said, there are a lot of people who are shy or introverted, and they go to munches, and people understand that. They don't,
everybody
force
was
you to
new
talk.
at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even me, I go through times when I have been in a munch, and I've just not felt very chatty.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm at an in-person munch, I out-talk her.
Oh, you're our social director. Thank God. Yeah. I mean, I am going to the munch this month. I will be quiet because I'm going to just tap into all my social anxiety. And you're going to know everybody, which is wonderful. That absolutely paves the way for me. Some people are going to know who I am, and some of them may want to talk. And I'll probably be able to make polite conversation one-on-one. But I don't just bust up in there like, hey, Kayla's here. Like, no. Yeah. Even once I'm comfortable, I'm not like that. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. Let's see. Dustin asked, when you do go to munches, do people treat you any different in your observations since you're a kink celebrity? Or do the munch folks not know? They're rare, but we call them JB sightings because it's not usually me. It's usually you. Yeah. They do not happen all of the time. No. We don't walk into a space and immediately talk about who we are. Like, we give our name. I am Kayla Lords in those spaces because that's who I am in the kink world. But if somebody doesn't recognize that name, or they don't, not everybody listens to podcasts or whatever, we will not mention. I've gone to places they have a clue who I was, and it's a little bit easier because nobody's asking you questions. You're just the quiet person that nobody knows, the new person, and I can be nice and quiet and observe. Now, when you've had a JB sighting, because you've had them at workshops, munches, all kinds of places,
right? Do
you notice a difference?
It depends on where. Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes people get overly excited and all that. Now, at the munch that I attend, People know who we are and what we do.
And this is a Munch I have never attended. Y'all have yet to go.
I would
this
say,
month will be my first time.
I would say probably about half of the people there know who we are and what we do. No, they do not treat me any differently.
I think it would be weird if they did. It would it would be awkward, I think.
We're
not that special, y'all.
I mean, they think it's great that we do what we do, as you know, kink educators and whatnot. And there have been a couple times, there have been, a few very new people, both to Munch and Lifestyle, that have showed up, and they've asked if I could kind of talk to them. And
right. So somebody who organizes Munch is like, "Hi, JB, there are new people here. Can you help these people out?" And you've been, and that's a thing that either of us would be happy to do, because that's kind of our whole shtick. But yeah, I mean,
so for the most part, no. They haven't treated, which I am grateful for.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of weird if it was like made a big deal out of or anything. I mean, we don't think of ourselves.
we don't think of ourselves like that, and we do this because we believe in the community, and for me, the way I was welcomed into the community so many years ago, I just feel like this is a way of giving back. So,
let's see. Elizabeth asks, I'm not new per se, but I'm new to opening up to people online about it. How do you deal with the aspect while single? I've never been in a relationship before. Everybody handles it a little differently. Some people, when they're single, they do not identify whether they're kinky, like they're on dating apps, and they don't say, I'm sub, I'm dom, I'm whatever. They wait for something to happen between them and a person before opening up. Since we met through our mutual sex blogs, that was not a thing I had to experience. My opinion, if it were me today and I had to go out there and try and meet somebody, I'm going to put it out there and go, this is how I identify, whether I'm on FetLife or I'm on some dating app or whatever. Because I want to weed out the people who are not going to be a good fit. I don't want to go on 3 dates and then have to have the weird, awkward conversation and then them go, I don't even know what that is, or I don't like it. Let's get this out of the way. But once you figure out your method for how you want to let people know you're kinky as you're dating them, or as you're meeting people, it is not that much different from, there are differences because you might be negotiating power exchange at some point, but the meeting and dating of people is the meeting and dating of people. You're going to go get together and go, do I like your vibe? Do I want to be around you? Do I want to have a conversation with you? Are you creeping me the fuck out right now? Yeah. Are these red flags or green flags? And then at some point beyond that, then you're going to go, hey, do we want to do anything together? And then you're going to start working into the whole negotiation and what that might look like. And I think Elizabeth also asked what a munch was. Oh, thank you, Rara. Yes, it's just social gathering of kinksters. We have a video on the channel about munches. When our site is back up, we have stuff on at lovingbdsm.net when that site is working.
Do we
about
have a
munches.
YouTube video on that?
We have 5 things to know. Yeah. We do have a video here on the channel. And it's funny to me that munches seem to intimidate some, not all kinksters, more than like a play party. And I'm thinking, but wait, why? I think actually it's because newer people are more inclined to maybe go to a munch first than a play party. Yeah. And so it's your first thing, so it is intimidating. It's often in a vanilla setting. You're 99% of the time, you're not going to see fetish gear, leather. People might talk about kinks, but nobody's acting them out. It's the laid back thing of the community of just a get to know people who also happen to be kinky. It's meant to be no pressure. Yeah. Beyond the pressure you might feel if you are a person who does not like to go into new situations and meet new people, as I am. That's a whole different thing to kind of deal with. So, Tasha has a question for JB. I watched an instructor at a rope class Teach people how to extend rope and then use it for an upline for a suspension. What's the worst thing you've seen, Todd?
Wow. What's the worst thing? I honestly don't know as far as what's the worst thing.
Have you seen something that made you go, are you kidding me?
That kind of cringed me a little bit.
You've gone to some good workshops, though, haven't you?
Most all the workshops I've been to have been really, really good. Worst thing. Wow. I'd have to say if I had to pick anything, and this is going to sound really silly, but you know, because of the nature of what Kayla and I do, you know, between loving BDSM, between the kinkery and all the things we have our hands on, I attended a workshop for kinky tax.
Oh,
filing.
Yeah. If you're like have a kink business,
yes.
And okay, now you got to file your taxes. Yeah.
And what turned out to be hilarious is several years prior to this, I had found a guy online in our area, had a website, who had a website set up that he deals with taxes for kinky folk.
I know. I think the website was like kinkytax.com or something.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, that's great.
Right. And reached out to him. And we actually had a meeting with him.
We did.
And we sat and talked with him, and he was very interesting.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah. And, you know, he was like, you know, oh, yeah, you know, I can help you guys and all this and that. And, you know, he emailed us some spreadsheets that, you know, to use and, you know, to help him do his thing. And he vanished.
Yeah, we never heard from him again. We
never
thought he
heard
died.
from him again. We thought he died.
But his email automation was still working.
Yeah, his email automation was still working. Called his number numerous times.
Got nothing.
Got nothing.
Got no responses. Got bounce backs when we emailed him. But like whatever email newsletter, like MailChimp or whatever, like you might be aware of, was still running. And we were still. But you know what I found out later?
What?
He ended up teaching that same tax workshop that you'd gone several years before. He apparently is still alive because he ended up teaching the same workshop like a couple years ago at a different kink community. I went, oh, you're not dead. Okay. Kinky tax guy.
All right.
Yeah.
And I was just very shocked when he walked in there and gave that class. Yep. So, you know, yeah, I mean, as far as worst thing, I mean, I can't really think of anything because most of the workshops and stuff I've attended they've been very fortunate with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that they're not out there. I mean, of course they are out there. And sometimes somebody is not really, they're really new to leading workshops, or they're new-ish to some of their skills, and so they're not, you know, imparting some of the best information. But yeah, we've been very fortunate.
I was very tempted to approach him at the end of that workshop, and you know, oh, I'm glad you're not
Glad you're not dead.
Dead, yeah.
Glad you're not dead.
But I was just, just not worth the effort.
No, we have a very vanilla tax person now, and she saves us thousands of dollars a year on our taxes. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Things worked out.
Do we tell her what we do? No, we do not.
She doesn't ask either. So,
she doesn't care. We're not doing anything illegal. We're not going to get her in trouble. She don't give a shit.
Right. So it's all good. So, I mean, as far as kind of odd, that's kind of up there in the thing, but
it's weird,
as far as bad advice, I've not really run across that in any of the workshops I've attended.
No, thank God. Elizabeth asks, I was wondering, with rope kinks, is it more stressful or painful being on the heavier side physically? It doesn't have to be. I can't compare. I only know this body and how I respond based on how JB ties me up. And if it's ever been painful or stressful, it was usually because something was in a wrong spot and was pinching a nerve, or I was not in a position my body is comfortable holding for a very long time. But rope does not have to be painful or stressful if, and that depends on the type of rope skills you're doing. We do not do suspension. I'm not interested, and you haven't developed the skills yet for it.
I've not. That's something.
We got rope people in this chat though, so they can probably give better details on that. But when you do rope with me, my job as the rope bottom is to say that's not a good feeling, or I can't hold that position, because it's not the rope itself that automatically makes, somebody with a larger body or whatever more uncomfortable. It's how you apply that. Yeah. And a good rope top is going to adjust for whatever you need.
Any body type can be tied.
Absolutely.
Any body type can be suspended.
Absolutely.
As far as pain level, for the most part, unless you are going for something specific like predicament bondage, for the most part, it's not really painful.
It doesn't have to be. Time I could not do a hog tie. Okay, do you want to try and hit live and see if it's going to let us go through? Are we here, y'all? We don't know if we're here. We think we're here. We're not sure. Y'all tell us. I see movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Meg. We're like, what
is happening?
We don't know how long it'll last, but you did a thing. So there we are.
So, but anyway, to get back to the question, yes, FetLife is your best place to look for workshops. I know several people mentioned conventions here,
FetLife is just the best.
Which is
it's not always the best place to be just in general on the internet, but it is good for looking for that
Fet
stuff.
has its downsides, but it has its upsides as well. Something that is kind of good if you look around a little bit. For example, the Wood Shop, which is the dungeon here.
The Woodshed?
Woodshed.
You're thinking of your shed.
Pointing at Wood Shop.
Your Wood Shop.
Sorry. Woodshed in Orlando. They do a lot of workshops there. And since COVID, they do what they consider hybrid workshops. They have both in person, and they still continue to do some of them on Zoom, so people can attend from anywhere. So, that's something to consider too.
Yep.
Even if you can't find anything in your area, sometimes it pays to look in other areas to see what's available through.
And weirdly,
Zoom.
sometimes a good Google search will actually throw up some options for you. So, you never know.
Yep.
So, I need to go get more water because I'm sucking on my ice cubes. Can you?
You want me to get it for you? Unless you want to step away for a minute, I'll go get it.
Will you put stuff in it for me?
You want stuff in it?
I want stuff in it.
Well, you have to tell me. Use your words, girl.
It's too damn late at night. And I need more ice. That's not enough ice. Okay.
I'll hook you up.
So. Yeah, and the thing is once you start finding classes, you'll find more. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. Or you find somebody who's connected in the community, like Rara is in the live chat, then you'll learn about some more. So it's a little bit like pulling a string. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that analogy, but there we are. I don't know. I've got no excuses, y'all. So yeah, and a lot of folks, because of the Rona, started doing a lot more online virtual things. So just a matter of finding them. We think we're back. Our internet connection looks strong. So if anybody has any questions, feel free. Just make sure to tag us. Don't spam the chat. You will be put in the corner. We're okay with that. So, Lola's here sleeping. She's not snoring like she, works 40 hours a week and raising 3 kids or anything. But she's here in the background. Ella was in here before we started, following me around, which was sweet but also weird. Like, what's wrong with you, cat? I got nothing, y'all. Jerica, how you're feeling is real common. Like we said earlier, reach out to the organizer. Let them know you're new. They might have somebody they can connect you with. They might be willing to sort of be your point person when you get there. If you have a kink friend or a kink-aware, non-judgmental friend who can go with you, maybe they can do that and make you more comfortable. But yeah, reach out to the organizers, and if they are what we would consider like actively trying to make the community a good place, they're going to try and help you be more comfortable. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So. Oh, you gave me lots of ice. Thank you.
Told you I'd hook you up.
Thank you. Ooh, what flavor is that?
Grape.
Ooh. There's Lola.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Can you get her up here so folks can see like the top of her head? That's about all we can see with our camera angle.
Come here, Lola. Come here, baby.
She's like, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if jumping up is really an option for me tonight.
She just woke up when I came through the door. Hey, how's my girl?
What else is going on?
How's my gumpy girl? Come on.
16-year-old went back to work for... Oh, that's a cough.
Oh.
Is that your old lady cough, ma'am? Yes, that was her old lady cough. Okay.
Come here.
He went back to the work for the first time since bringing COVID into this house. And then they immediately asked him if he could work late. It's like, okay.
What? There we go. Oh, there we go. There's the Lola.
Oh, there's Lola.
Oh, there she is. There's my girl, my chunky girl.
Memo from Cara, we actually did, we've done 2 episodes on love languages. One is so old it's on our website archive, which our website is currently down. The other one, there is a video here on YouTube where we talk about 18 love languages? That was the book we read. It was 18.
Yes.
We actually don't try to translate the love languages like into a kink version. We use whatever their definition is and just apply it to our lives. But we have talked about that in the past. The first love languages conversation we had is in our archive, and our website is currently down. Yeah. But when it's up, it's there, and then the other is a video here on YouTube.
Goodness.
So, where we talk about a newer book written to be more inclusive of more than just those 5 love languages. So hopefully that helps. Her eyes are slowly shutting, like she's slowly blissing out.
She likes when I scratch her ears like that.
I swear if she could sit in your lap right here, she would.
Probably would.
So. She's like, no, I want a hug. I want you to hold me. If you could pick me up, I'd be really happy.
Okay.
I'm not needed here, y'all. These two would be very happy without me. Would not notice that I was gone.
Huh?
Exactly. Exactly. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. While I'm watching about crawdads singing on Sunday, just cuddle with your dog.
I'll be on the sofa cuddling with Lola.
I know you will be. And as you should be, quite frankly. As you should be. Oh, do you want to do a little show and tell? You won't be near the mic if you do it. You want to show off your very vanilla project? Have you shown those before?
I don't know.
He's making cutting boards, y'all.
Yeah. I'll show them all.
Y'all, he has a vanilla Etsy shop. Why is he making cutting boards? Because he has a vanilla Etsy shop. Now, just remember, you're nowhere near a microphone. Nobody is going to be able to hear you. We learned that lesson the last time. See? That's one. Ooh, Elizabeth asked, while you're showing that off, I'll answer. So we have eye candy and I'm talking. I like this.
There you go.
Do you think you're moving in your life's purpose by doing BDSM kink as a profession? Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's not like I woke up one day and went, this is my life's purpose. It's more like, this is what I love to do, and it became my purpose. My purpose is to hopefully help people not be as confused as I once was, or as uncertain of things as I once was, to help people avoid mistakes. And what we talk about most and you know, feel like we have the most to contribute happens to be our relationship. So, but yes, the Wood Dom is back again. It's on Etsy. Actually, you can go to the wooddom.com. Well, it should send you to the Etsy shop.
It might not.
It might not because of
the redirect is on the server.
Yeah, but so, it's one of those things that I didn't even know it was a thing I wanted to do full time when we started this podcast. I just wanted to have conversations about the things that we were experiencing and observing. And I was frustrated. I was also frustrated at the time that, the most of the conversations I was seeing people have about BDSM and kink were still in the fantasy realm of how you were supposed to achieve this, you know, fantastical version of DS that you built up in your head. And Lord, if we could all have that, that'd be great. But actually you've got to navigate illness and jobs and raising kids and having a dog together and paying a mortgage or your rent and, you know, fixing the car and not having enough money. And that I sometimes feel very strange that that's what we talk about, because it's not as sexy as let's talk about how to do the kinks, but it's the most to me, it's the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, I never saw myself that I would be making weapons of mass destruction.
And loving it so damn much. You were it's so funny. It wasn't that you were skeptical of making paddles or making kink toys. Because you were, before we ever even thought you would have a shop, you were making them in the garage and going, let's try this out, right? Like, there's still some evil shit in that toy bag that he went, well, I got some liquid rubber and some dowels. What can I do with this, right? It was more like, once you realized you could make your own wooden paddle for your own self, and I went, yeah, but we could sell that. You went, really? Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now he knows when I go, we could do that. I go, okay, we'll do that. I do not lead him astray when it comes to this stuff. But when it comes to these conversations, it's recently was it like last week or week before, Time Has No Meaning, when we talked about how we're not as, it's harder to make the shorter form content because what we want to do is have these long conversations. Like, if I thought it could be a sustainable business model, I would come on and talk to y'all in a live more than once a month, more than once a week, because it's in these conversations that you can have so many realizations about what you're capable of, what other people do, you know, what you might want to try in a relationship that just helps it get closer to whatever your happy, healthy is, right? Like there's no single way to do it. And I love having these conversations, and they are therapeutic to me as much as I hope they are helpful to others. And if they can't be helpful, maybe they can be entertaining. I don't know. I'll say this, it's a little strange to make a living off your own damn personality when you don't think you have one. I mean, I have been told most of my life that it's a grating personality. So to go, actually, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to have a conversation with each other and have y'all join in. And will you please keep coming back so we can keep coming back? Like, that part's weird. That doesn't feel life purposey. But it's the best, to me, it's the thing that I feel the most passionate's not the right word, but feels like the most important thing. And it's the one I want to do even in the worst week when, you know, everything's on fire around us. This is where I want to be on Wednesdays. When we can't be here for a live stream when we're supposed to, that will stress me the hell out. When we can't record a podcast, that stresses me out. Nikki,
if you go to etsy.com/shop/the wood dom, all one word, that should bring you right to the shop.
And he does special orders, custom orders. You're working on 2 right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Andre asks, how often do you or would you recommend redoing BDSM checklists? I don't know that. How often do we do it? Once every 10 years, apparently. Because we did one early-ish in our relationship. Yeah. And then we did one for a podcast or a video, because I know the video's here on YouTube, in the past, 6 months, 8 months? I think sometime in 2022, maybe, or late 2021. If I'm recommending it for other people, I would say, I don't think there's a time structure. I think if you want to say once a year, do once a year. If you want to, I would say that if you feel yourself shifting, or you think your relationship would do better if you did a shift of something, tried something new, let go of something old, that might be a good time to do it.
Maybe I can talk Kayla into dropping it into the show notes. That shouldn't get us.
Oh, to your wood dom?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second, because I know how to work things. I'm right-clicking.
See?
I'll be dropping it in the description box. You'll probably have to refresh.
Yeah.
But we're going to put it there, because no, it is not a bad link that will get us in trouble.
Right.
Thank God.
But, you know, Andre, I'd have to say probably whenever you feel you need or want to do it.
Yeah, I know some people kind of like more of, if you want to do more of a regular thing, a year would probably be enough time. If you think you should do it sooner, then do it sooner.
Yeah.
I would also say that if you don't think of doing it for several years, there's nothing wrong with that. If you go through a thing where, you feel your dynamic shifting, or one or both of you is like, things aren't working. I want to be with you, but this isn't quite working. That might be a good time. If you another time is if you start getting bored with what you're doing.
Well,
and you're
that's
like,
what I was going to say.
What should we do?
And not even just bored, but I think I'd like to try out some new things. Let's see what we can come up with here.
Yeah, especially if you're not sure where you both stand, or you can't remember. It's been so long. I'll say this: if you cannot remember, that's a good time to do it. Like, what did they say 5 years ago? Hell, I don't know. Let's just do it again.
Now, I'm going to answer a question that came up very early on.
Okay.
In the chat, and I don't remember who asked it, but I'm going to answer it here and now. Kayla did, in fact, get my birthday spankings this year.
I did. And on time, on the day of.
And on the day of.
I know. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Wednesday live stream, or since you can't listen to the podcast that should have been out today, you wouldn't know that, but I did. Whew.
Yep.
Whew. That was. Oh, we are out of practice. I'm out of practice. Whew.
Yeah.
And if you you probably have to refresh, but I did put the Etsy link to his Wood Dom Etsy shop in the description box. You might have to refresh wherever you're watching for that to do.
Nikki, I am hoping by the latest around September the boards will be up.
He wants to have we want to have several before.
I want to have a number of them done before I put them up there.
And we've got to figure out how we want to do product images to fully like show them all.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a great photography setup for that. So we're working on that.
So yeah, I'm hoping one that by September, I have a number of them together. They do take me a little bit of time right now.
Sure.
But you know, I'd like to have enough of them to put up there to make it worthwhile to put them up there.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. We did Silent Wing. We said we still had a drink in the fridge, and then today was a little bit wild, and in a good way, but still wild. And then we've had a conversation about our health and well-being.
Yeah.
And we're gonna drink it, but tonight didn't feel like the night to do it.
No,
I would not mind my drink, but I don't like to drink alone.
We had a serious conversation just earlier today. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and as most of you who all know who have been here for any length of time, the past year has been quite a roller coaster ride.
Clusterfuck. It's been a clusterfuck.
Okay, all right.
Let's be real.
Between my motorcycle accident, between the 16-year-old's accident, between me having a procedure, between you having a procedure,
Your
between
mom's death, me losing work, it's been a clusterfuck. We're not gonna let's not revisit it. We lived it. We're good. We're good.
Yeah. So, you know, I have gained weight again.
Same.
And this time not in the way I normally have gained weight.
You don't feel the way you usually feel.
I do not feel the way I usually feel. The weight has settled in my stomach, and Kayla and I were talking about that, and she's like, yeah, that's kind of stress weight, and you know, my stomach is hard as a rock, and
then that's visceral fat, which terrifies me, because he's supposed to live to be 118, because I'm going out at 100.
So you know, and I have been feeling the weight where it has settled.
Same.
And I need to do some serious things to change this.
But because we are getting out, we meaning me, are trying to get out of mindsets when it comes to food that become very disordered very quickly.
Yeah.
No foods are off limits, but we did think that the day we had the conversation might not be day to pop the tops on some cider, some beer.
So you know, yeah,
that's a special treat again.
That's why there are no adult beverages. There's no chips and dip, and
no, we got chips and dip coming later.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, there's going to be some serious changes for me here very soon. Yep. Need to.
Yep.
Need to.
Elizabeth asked, is edging and overstimulation a kink? Yes, it's called orgasm control. That's the broad umbrella term. We do have a video here on YouTube about orgasm control. Rara, I think y'all have talked about orgasm control on your podcast, yeah? If not, feel free. I would go for it. Like, let's get that topic out there. But I thought you had. And there's different ways that orgasm control works, but one of them is edging, and another part of that can be overstimulation. And yes, that's a thing.
So yes, that absolutely is a kink.
So, but yes, Mr. Spock, it does seem to be the night for serious conversations.
Yeah.
Was it your last? See, I was sorry, Rara.
What?
Not paying attention. Their very last episode was orgasm control.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
No, Andre, I'd rather have chips and dip. I'd just rather it actually be an occasional treat, not a multiple times a week thing. Yeah. I want the chips and dip. I like veggies and dip, and I've noticed this is new-ish for me with the summer heat this year. That's not new. I'm a Florida girl, but I'm really craving fresh vegetables, crunchy vegetables.
Yeah.
don't usually crave those. Normally I'm like, oh, where's the ice cream? Where's this? But no, we're not
Well,
doing
you know, I'm not going to say that I'm jumping on bandwagon. There is still some of my birthday cake left in the fridge.
Very little, but we portioned it out really well, and several people got several pieces.
Once that birthday cake is gone, then I intend.
And then we get to do birthday cake next week for the kid's birthday.
Yeah, but that'll be his cake, so it won't be as.
And I'm hoping he and his girlfriend will eat the majority of it. Like I want a small slice of it, so I have a taste. Right. No, no.
So.
Yeah, we shared your birthday cake with my aunt and uncle. They weren't even there when we did it that night, and we sent it home with my mom. Like, please take some of this cake.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, hummus I do enjoy a little bit.
My big
like
problem
hummus.
is I can eat the healthy things. I just will overeat. I'll eat too much of anything. So, but no, I'm actually working on my own because I don't want to try and find a dietitian or a nutritionist, and I don't think my insurance will pay for it anyway, to deal with disordered thinking around food. I was noticing some... let me just say this. We are probably going to talk for a whole 30 seconds to a minute about disordered eating. If that is not your thing and you can't handle it, mute me right now. And I will do this when I'm not talking about that anymore. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, over the course of the past clusterfuck of a fucking year, I noticed I was binging. And I was binging out of stress. I eat out of stress, but I was doing that thing of eat all the food and then feel like shit about it. And so then think about restricting, but thinking about restricting, then I was freaking out and I did not. And it was really bad. So I'm trying to make it for myself so that there is no such thing as a bad food. Maybe there's too much of a good thing, but we're like, and I'm reading my resources and I'm watching people and I'm listening and I'm working on it. Because trying to do keto again actually set me off hardcore. Like I went the exact opposite way and just ate all the things. And then I got to live with all the guilt, and I didn't want to do that. So it's like, we're not going to do restrictive nothing. We're going to try and live in the world.
I would not mind going back to keto. That worked really well for me.
I love eating keto, but I don't like the restrictive mindset.
I have been
can't handle it.
Emotionally eating a lot.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
What?
And not sleeping well at night. So, you know, they talk about how when you don't sleep, that adds to the whole, you know, body weight. And, you know, so that's kind of been where it's been for me.
Right. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Hopefully they unmuted. Okay. I did my part. I did the hand wavy thing. You're going to see if she wants to go out? So... No, I've been trying up until the week COVID hit the house, and I started feeling bad, but I'd never tested positive at all and never had serious symptoms. It felt like a cold. That week I did. I've been doing daily walks. I didn't during the week of the Rona. And then this week with my mom coming, sometimes I need to get up super early to do stuff around the house so I have time to go do whatever with my mom. So I have not been walking, but I don't want her to leave because I love having my mom around, but also I'm ready to get back on my schedule or find a new schedule and start walking again. I was not doing that for weight loss necessarily. I was just doing that for stress relief because I think that's the biggest part of my problem is high stress, chronic stress for sure. Because I cannot think of a time in my adult life where there's not been something serious. So, yeah. But I want to do some body weight exercises because I'm not going to buy a bunch of weights and stuff. Even though I like that. I'd love to learn how to lift and strength train. But I'm not going to a gym. I can't afford to hire a trainer. We don't have space for a home gym. I'm just going to do body weight stuff. But I got to actually start doing that. But so...
Anywho...
Mm-hmm. Questions. If anybody has questions, we're here for it. I'm gonna scroll.
Question away.
Did not. Yeah, we love food here. Food is, and it's been kind of nice to go all foods are good foods. It's just finding what moderation feels like.
Moderation,
it's been
yeah.
kind of nice. I've eaten foods guilt-free in the past 6 months that I went 2 or 3 years and didn't even eat. And I'm like, I really enjoy this, and I don't feel bad about it. Okay, yay! So, let's see. Making sure I did not miss anything. Yeah, I'm a salty snacker too, Elizabeth. Salty and crunchy is my favorite. Oh, okay. Let me make a note of that. Thank you, Kim.
Okay.
You are your own gem.
I'll write it down.
Thank you, because I'm like, where's the notes app on my phone? I'm really, if anybody is following anybody like this, because y'all know our vibe around here, I'm really interested in following people who talk about the very unique experience of having, of dealing with the hormones that would be in my body as a woman and being 40 plus. Like, I want to talk about what the hell's going on with my body in perimenopause and how I'm supposed to try and, like, be healthy with that and gaining weight right around the middle like a damn spare tire. Like, I keep seeing the 20-somethings or I see the, I see people I can't relate to because I'm like, we are not at the same point in life. You have not gone through it, birthing however many children or, having the hysterectomy or needing the hysterectomy. Like, I need somebody at my stage of life to tell me what they're doing. And menopause, I'm not quite at menopause yet. So it's like, who's talking to the 40-year-olds? That's who I want to follow online when we talk about this stuff.
I know.
Not shade to 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds, but it's a different stage of life.
I know a lot of people mentioning yoga. For me, even at my best, yoga was not my friend. I could not do yoga.
You are,
now,
as my former physical therapist said, I am a loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
You are a righty-tighty. You are not
very much so
naturally limber and flexible.
Yeah. Now, what has worked for me, which I do need to get back into doing because just for the stretching, the Tai Chi.
And stress relief. Because you slow down and you move with purpose.
Tai Chi is something that in the past had been very good for me, and I need to bring that back into my life.
I've tried following just anything on YouTube, and I can't. I've tried. I even was trying to do yoga with Adrienne. I like her. Her vibe is great. I can't follow. I can't. I'll know it when it's right for me. It's definitely a vibe thing. I just hadn't found it yet.
Yeah.
So. Oh, X, yes. Yes, I understand that one. Yeah, shutting down and retreating into oneself when things get tough. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Guilty.
I also get very tired, very sluggish.
Yeah.
Just want to curl up in my blanket. I don't even want to be in my blanket because it's hot, but I want to be in my blanket like a burrito.
When we lived in Pinellas County in Tampa Bay area, within a couple miles of us, there was a Tai Chi.
Oh, yeah. What's that called? Can't remember.
Can't think of what they had, but it was a big. Oh God. But anyway, they had a place there.
A center that I don't know. There's a term we cannot think of it.
There's a term for it.
But there was Tai Chi.
Yeah.
It was like a. Why can't we think of the term? We drove past it every single day.
Yeah. And I went there for months. But it was great. I enjoyed it there. Matter of fact, they just apparently, because I still peek at them once in a while online, they renovated an old place in Clearwater and took it over. So,
I'm old enough to remember when the old Richard Simmons VHS was new, and I think him as a person is great, but that's not my vibe. Dojo, thank you. Why could we not think of that term? Thank you.
So, You know, I found a fairly decent resource on YouTube since for the Tai Chi.
Oh, was that the video you used to follow?
The one I used to follow that I used to do in the living room. You know, so yeah, I definitely need to get back to that.
Yeah.
Just to get things stretched and moved, because with all the stress.
Sorry, that's a kid texting.
You know, yeah, with all the stress I've been under, everything is very tight and stiff and...
Sure. And we're not prioritizing that stuff.
No, we're not.
I'm getting lost in the constant scroll of mindless stuff, usually Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
You are doing your own version of kind of a scroll at your computer, which is also where you work. So you wake up at like 5:30 in the morning and you sit down. It's where he socializes, because he's our social butterfly. It's where he works. It's where he plays games. I mean, yes, you get up in the middle because you go to work out in the shop.
Right.
But you're not even coming to sit on the couch and relax, which is a good way to de-stress. You're literally sitting at your computer. 5:30 in the morning, he'll be there until he's ready for breakfast and to go out to work. Gets done with work, he'll come sit back down. And the only time he's getting up is like, okay, it's dinner, it's lunch.
Yeah.
There's not sitting on the couch, you know, hugging your dog.
No.
There's, you know, what more, and we're getting lost in the... There's nothing wrong with doing something kind of mindless and like you just can shut your brain off for a while. But I know for me, if that's all I'm doing, I'm not doing it because it's actually helping me. I'm doing it because I somehow think that it's shutting everything out is somehow helpful, and it's not. It's more harmful because I'm not actually relaxing, or I'm not dealing with stress, or I'm not doing things I'm interested in and care about. And that's where we're at because it was a clusterfuck of a year. So, yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I've never been fond of energy drinks. I have never even had the desire to try one.
I'll take the 16-year-old loves energy drinks. Certain he likes. I think his brand of choice is Bang, but he'll do Monster as well. And I'll take a sip, and they don't taste like soda, but they like have the fizz and the whatever, and most of them are sugar free. And I, who daily drink really only one coffee most times, every once in a while two, because I can't have too much caffeine, I'm somehow more afraid of the amount of caffeine that might be in the energy drink than I am in my own coffee.
I know.
I've not looked. I don't remember. What's the difference? No difference. It'd be fine. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm like, if I start those, I may never sleep again.
You'll
I don't
never
know if
come back. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that's true.
And
but
I mean,
I've made myself nervous.
I was gonna say my coffee addiction is enough for me. I don't need energy drinks.
I don't. Is it Bang or is it Monster? There's a unicorn one. I remember the 16-year-old getting. I can't remember if he really liked that one or not. I don't know.
Yeah, X, I kind of did that too, like she was talking.
You do it with your video games.
With the video games. I replayed Doom Eternal again. I replayed Wolfenstein
We have about
Order.
6 shows we've started. We haven't finished.
Haven't finished.
Yeah, you go get lost here. I've gotten a little bit better about reading more. But I went through a really bad reading slump where I could not, I did not have the mental energy to even just stare at the words on the page.
I've even replayed Serious Sam.
Got no reference for that.
Yeah, I know. It's a campy, first-person shooter, goofy game. But,
so the thing I told JB, because we have the book Burnout. I don't remember if you said you had that book or not. It's not about the whole book. What I told JB was read the section on closing the stress cycle, because while the stress that's happening, that's causing our bodies to process stress, we probably have no control on the stress that's actually happening to us. I've had 365 days to be reminded of that. What they talk about in the book Burnout is helping your body complete that cycle of understanding that that thing's going on, but then the physiological part is part of the get your blood pressure down, get your focus back, be able to have the energy and deal with that part of the stress. Because the thing that's stressing you out, we don't have any control over it. We got to get through it or wait for it to like go away. But how our bodies are reacting, I've got to reread that part too. But that's why I'm like, I'm trying to take daily walks, and I'm trying to do more things that I know are helpful and healthy to me. Not as a, I'm going to lose weight, but as a, can I get this blood pressure down? That would be great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Andre, I haven't forgot about my vape.
It's the whoopee. He never forgets about the whoopee. And see, if you haven't heard the podcast yet, you don't know what I'm like, why that's even remotely funny. Good. Oh, you're welcome, Nikki. We don't cuddle enough.
No, we don't.
We get so stressed out. Like, one of us will go in for a hug, and the other one's like, "What are you doing here?
Don't touch me."
I have learned I've got more sensory kind of, I don't know if issues is the right word, but things that will really like bug me. And when I'm in high stress, like, it'll really bug me. Yeah. One of them is touch. Like, there are times. And then once the internal combustion engine heats up and I'm nothing but one gigantic bead of sweat, I really don't want to be touched. We came home from the shopping excursion with my mom, myself, and the 16-year-old, and I'd had a hot flash, I'd had my blood pressure go up, and we'd been out in Florida weather. I had to take another shower. I was like, I sweated through my clothes, Daddy. I sweated through my clothes. It was awful. It was disgusting. Let's see. Okay, Andre, I am happy to answer the why I hate that fucking handle again. You just want me to rant, and it's okay. I will tell this story again. So, the handle I fucking hate is our Instagram handle. Our Instagram handle is lovingds and the number 1. Why do I hate that? Because it's not our goddamn name, but here's why it's not really our goddamn name.
Well, you're telling that gives me enough time to go take a bathroom break.
Do what you gotta do. I'll try and draw this out. When, as Loving BDSM, we first signed up for Instagram, I had the handle Loving BDSM. Why? Because it's our fucking name. Of course I had the handle. We were on Instagram, just living our fucking lives, posting things that are really benign. We don't even get PG-13 over there. Like, I understand who and what Instagram is, and I know who owns them. I know not to do shit. Probably because I used a hashtag that the non-kinky people use, we somehow got in front of somebody who reported us. I don't even remember what post they reported. They reported us without question. Instagram took that fucking account down, like, just down. I couldn't get it back. The name did not exist. I did not have that account anymore, but also it was not available. And I tried other iterations of Loving BDSM, could not get it. The only thing I could get that had anything to do with what we do, Power Exchange DS, was Loving DS. And then I couldn't even just get Loving DS, which is still stupid because it's BDSM, and those words should not be scary to any fucking body around here. I had to put a fucking 1 on the end. So instead, I go, oh, you can follow us on Twitter, @LovingBDSM. With FetLife, we put PC, and I think I couldn't get the whole handle. I think maybe somebody else had it. I don't know. But even that, I'm like, okay, but at least our fucking name's in it. Hell, YouTube. We're youtube.com/LovingBDSM. And on fucking Instagram, I have to say Loving DS and the number 1. And it's stupid, and it's not our goddamn name. Which is why on nearly all of our Instagram posts, I do the hashtag Loving BDSM, because you know what? Damn it. Our name should be somewhere. And so that is why the Instagram handle for our account is that handle that I will forever fucking hate. So. Fucking hate that handle. Pisses me off. It makes me so mad. Makes me so mad. Makes me so mad. Okay. What else? I got nothing else, y'all. I think I'm almost out of this water, too. I got a few. don't regret a lot of things. Oh my God, Mr. Spock, I would really be pissed. I don't know. I feel like the geeky kinksters would probably love it, but I would be pissed. That would have pissed me off, Mr. Spock. You're right. So I don't have a lot of regrets in life. That's just kind of how I try to move through the world and operate. No, I'm not saying everybody should live that way, but I cannot. This is such a small thing, and it's such a dumb thing, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But about a year and a half ago, we came across a cup in Starbucks that I don't even remember all the colors. I think it was like purple and turquoise and like sparkly. And the straw was the most beautiful shade of purple I've ever seen. And we did not buy that cup. And every day I think about it. Because I use this cup every day. And I think about the cup we didn't get. And I'm sad. And so now every time I go into Starbucks, I look at their cups hoping that they'll have something similar with this beautiful purple straw. They do not. They have nice cups. It's not the one. And it makes me sad.
And Mr. Spock, you do need to read X's books. I had picked them up a while ago. Really enjoyable reads, great characters, and good story. So there.
Was it, Elizabeth asked, was it a lilac? Was it a lilac or was it a deep purple? I just remember it being beautiful.
I don't remember now.
I remember it being beautiful and going, we were not in a position to get the cup, and I went, I should not get this cup. And then I did not get this cup. I can't remember if it was a really dark purple or if it was a lilac. I can't remember anymore. I just remember it was beautiful. I would, if you hadn't said lilac, I would have said a dark purple because that's what's in my memory. I think it was a dark purple. But it might have been that lilac. No, it might have been the lilac. It might have been a lilac. Fuck, no, I don't remember. Mine like a sieve. Sorry. Like, I have to flush filing cabinets of thoughts and memories from my brain to hold new stuff, and I don't know what'll go. Mm-hmm. I just remember thinking I should have bought that cup. Did we need to spend $20 on another damn Starbucks cup? No.
Probably
and
not.
I made the right decision, but I'm still sad every day. And then we were in Target today. I, who do not drink hot drinks except one hot coffee in the dead of winter and probably 2 hot chocolates, again, in the dead of winter. And we're in Target, and there was this purple mug. The inside was this beautiful purple, like a lilac, maybe closer to a lavender. And then there were these pretty flowers that was like purple and blue and like was it a rosy pink? But it was like a pink. And I hold it up in front of my mom and I go, this is the most beautiful mug I've ever seen. And she goes, well, are you going to buy it? I'm like, no, I don't drink hot drinks. I don't need this mug. And then I stared longingly inside the mug because it was purple and beautiful. And I put it back down. And then my mother did not pick it up and buy it for me anyway. And that is how I know I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm not a grandkid. Because that cup is still at the Target.
there you go, Silent Wing. Better get editing because I'm ready for the next one.
Mm-hmm. So. Maybe, Elizabeth. It might have been.
Yeah.
Because I have a purple cup from Starbucks, which is a beautiful light purple background, purple flowers, purple lead, and I love that one. And this one I saw last year was after that one. It's so pretty.
I got a coffee mug for Father's Day.
You did.
And I love it. I use it all the time now.
I know. The 12-year-old picked it out.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. So it's kind of become a running joke around here between JB and I that if I see something that Instagram showed me that had to do with a Cricut, vinyl, something, I'm like, I want to make it. I want to put it on Etsy. The one thing I see, there's several things, but the one thing I see over and over again that I'm like, those are beautiful. I want to own more of those, but I do not want to make those, are tumblers. Like where they do the resin and the glitter. And I love me some glitter and resin combined.
I got you one of those.
I know, and I use it every day.
Back, yeah.
I know. And here's what's funny. I do not want to replace that because I love that. I also, I'm like, I would be okay with another purple sparkly different tumbler cup just to mix things up. Yeah. But I have no desire to make those. They're beautiful. I watch people do it like in Instagram Reels and, sometimes on YouTube. I'm like, wow. No, I don't want to make those. I don't want to make those. I mean, Silent Wing, does anything beat a mug that says live slow, die whenever? I don't think anything
could beat that. No.
No. No. I don't think anything beats that. God, that purple mug. You would see that purple mug. You could like walk across the Target and see it, and you know that was the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was the purple part was a little deeper than Sassy Lilac.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. And I often see mugs that are hot mugs, even at Starbucks. I'm like, these are gorgeous. I'm not going to drink out of them. I have my mermaid one that you got me. And and if I drink a hot drink on the go, I will use that one because I have it. But I don't need to buy more. But ice drinks, things where ice is going to go in it. Yes, I need more of those.
Now, my mermaid mug from
Wikiwachi.
I use that one quite a bit, too.
It's also a giganto cup that holds a lot of coffee. So
yeah.
that might have something to do with why you use it. Oh, Andre, I'm happy to tell this story. How did it start that we refer to our fans as crickets? And I have told this story before too, so if you've heard this story, you know it, but that's okay. Not everybody knows the story. So back in the day, early days of the podcast, not unlike now, but worse, because we didn't have practice. We would be talking, or I would be talking. No, it was when it was because when it was the first dozen episodes that was just me, I was very scripted, so I could not get off topic. When it was you and I doing episodes together, I can get off topic. I have trains of thought that if you don't know how to follow my train of thought, sound like the trains are derailing, but I will get back to the point. But I would have these asides where we would be talking about something and it would remind me of something.
The train split tracks and it went
we
into
always
a long
come back,
then,
okay?
Yeah.
We always come, well, not these days because I forget what I was saying, but then the mind was younger, I would derail. And there'd be an aside that had seemingly nothing to do with the topic at hand because I was reminded of something. And a listener who had been there from the very first episode, and I had talked to a couple times on FetLife, and the vibe was good. They said, I love your podcast, but all of those asides and getting off track are distracting. I don't care if you talk about that stuff, but not while you're doing the topic. Please, it's making me crazy. And it was something that I recognized. I was like, yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, that's probably not helpful. So not every person who has a thought about what we should do differently gets that kind of consideration. But if it rings true to me, I'm like, okay, let me take it on. Let's consider it. So I don't remember what episode this was. Somebody who has like listened to the whole archive, maybe you can tell me because I can never remember. Was it episode 60, 50, 70? I don't know. Somewhere around there, I said, okay, what we're going to do is we are going to stay on topic to the best that I am capable of, y'all. And the stuff I want to talk about that's like the stuff we talk about now, we'll save to the end. We'll call that the bonus section. And the whole thing has always been, and this was the podcast. We still do it for the live stream because we're recording the podcast, but this was designing the podcast. The whole thing was if you don't want chit chat, if you don't want the bullshit, you just want, give me the meat. I like the meat too. You will have a definite start and stop, and you can just listen to that, and you don't have to listen to the bonus section. You go on with your life. Have a good day. Anybody else who might want to like hear us ramble about whatever. I don't even remember what that first bonus section was about. I think it was about how uncomfortable I was doing this. You have a bonus section. We call it bonus section because I don't know how to name anything. Okay. I'm still not sure how to name my children. Okay. So the very first time we did it, and I think the first several times we did it, we kind of do what we did now, but not quite. We didn't know what we were doing. And I said, I don't think anybody's here. I think we're talking to crickets. I think it's just crickets chirping. Nobody's here. And within the first episode of that, or maybe the second or third where we started doing that, people were tagging us on Twitter going, I'm a cricket. I'm here at the end. I'm listening. And then one of our listeners, was it Panda Kitten? I think it was Panda Kitten. Panda Kitten on Twitter is their handle. Did hashtag proud crickets. And I went, well, that's it.
Yeah.
You're crickets.
And then became
so
crickets, yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That is the story.
So.
X, I'm always derailing. Always. But I get back to the point. That is my whole point.
Be more worried if she wasn't derailing.
Elizabeth, I could not possibly list every single kink worst to best that we've tried. I can tell you our personal mutual favorite is impact play.
Right.
I don't try things I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
I get a sense very quickly of, oh, no, thank you. So I can't think, have I tried anything that I thought maybe it'll be okay? And then I went, no, I don't want to do it. I've actually had the opposite. I've gone, I guess we can do rope bondage because I thought I wouldn't like it or care. And then I went, okay, it's not my kink, but I can do this. I found plenty that I like about it. Have you tried a kink that you thought you'd like and ended up going, I don't like that?
No, not really. Everything I've done has been very deliberate.
Yeah.
I would have to say, there are some things I have seen that kind of look cool, but I know they're not for me.
Right.
Kind of like, I'm trying to think, when we were in London for Eroticon that one year.
Was it that vacuum?
Yes.
I know I will get claustrophobic and hyperventilate. I'm not even going to go there.
Where you get in like a vinyl suit and they vacuum the air out.
I'd have a panic attack. No, thank you.
It looked kind of cool and all that, but it did not, didn't do anything for me. But everything that I've tried, like Kayla said, impact play, yeah, right up there at the top of the list for things I love. I do enjoy rope. Don't get to do enough of it that I would like to do.
You're stuck with me.
Sorry. We've tried electro play, which we enjoy.
Wax play, which we enjoy.
Wax play we enjoy. I would have to say, if anything with the wax play, just hate the frickin' cleanup.
Yeah. I mean, there's a sexy part to the cleanup, and then there's the, oh shit, there's all this wax on the bed and floor and the plastic thing we put down. Now we have to deal with the plastic thing we put down.
Yeah. There is a question.
Sure.
We weren't tagged.
Negotiating limits in the dungeon.
Yeah.
A huge list of limits and kinks, but don't know how to show in a short. So in a dungeon, you might find that they have a negotiation worksheet,
right,
which will speed up the process.
Yes. Many dungeons are doing that now, just because pickup play is, become a thing, and to help people, one, keep safe and find a compatible partner. So that is a fabulous thing to do. You can, sit down with the potential partner, and, it's not a very extensive list sometimes. It's a very basic list, but it kind of helps you get to the nitty-gritty of things. If you do have a little bit more of an extensive list, you might want to bring your own list.
Also, if you're looking for pickup play, or you're going to negotiate a scene with a first-time player, because pickup play, you might never play with that person again, or you might play with them the next time you're both there. Keep it short and simple. What I mean is, for that first-time person, pick a basic kind of scene. Maybe it's not really complicated with character changes and different sensations going at once. Maybe that first time is, okay, I'm into impact, and here's what you need to know about what I'm into and not about impact, so that you can craft that scene. And it might require a longer conversation than air quote average pickup play, but who cares? It's what you need to get the scene, and it's what that potential partner needs to be able to participate in a scene where everybody ends up being satisfied at the end. So yeah, and then if you find people who are like, oh, I'll casually play with you when I see you, and you build that rapport over time, then you might dive deeper and go, hey, let's add some elements, but now you need to know about these limits, or you need to know about, So sometimes it's think about the situation and the person and go, what is it you want to gain? Do you want a specific type of sensation? Well, then craft a scene around that kind of sensation, and that might not involve however many other kinks you have. It might involve all of your limits. That's possible, but that's okay. People get responsible kinksters, experienced kinksters, they get that. they're not going to look at you funny because you've got a laundry list of stuff. Most people have a laundry list of stuff. They might not be constantly talking about it, but they do.
True.
Is it Kiara? I'm awful with names. Is it, how do I say your name? I'm going to answer the question, and I'm stumbling at this point over names, and I'm so sorry, and I want to say it right. Do you have any fun recommendations for activities and contests for someone who look to organize a littles or pup play event in a dungeon? I will say I have no ideas and no experience, so
that's not something I'm too
Rara,
familiar with.
Are you in the chat? Do you have any ideas? And please also somebody teach me how to say your name. I'm stumbling, and I'm sure it's simple, and I'm not reading it, and I feel bad, and I'm weird about names because I don't want to fuck up names.
I know.
It's an anxiety of mine that is nobody's problem but my own. And also, I'm having a hot flash, so fun
your
times.
Cheeks are like, oof. Someone Ashley asked if we have some good kink books to read.
Normally, I'd say go to lovingbdsm.net.
We do have.
We have a whole list.
We do have a list of books on there,
but the site I think is still down.
Yeah, unfortunately, the site is down at the moment.
I'll double check it. Maybe it's not.
But loving when it's there.
There's a whole
lovingbdsm
section
.net. There is a big list of books there that we have, both nonfiction and I think some fiction too.
Yep. Let's see.
So. Let's see. Okay. Anything else?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay.
We've got about 30 minutes left. And our site seems to still be down.
Okay.
It's not stressful at all.
Andre, have fun. Getting out to a play party after a long time.
Rara, the question is, hold on, I will repeat it for you. I've got to find it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh.
It is, do you have any fun recommendations for activities and contests for someone looking to organize a littles pup play event at a dungeon?
Like a little / pup play event. Yep. And you were the first person we thought of, right? Wait, I was looking to see, did the thing come up? No, it did not. Yeah, we have book lists. We also have podcast lists and websites and YouTube channels and
Lots of stuff.
Lots.
Yep.
So, yeah. I'm running out of steam, and I'm still in a hot flash, and my throat hurts, and I'm running out of water.
Again?
Oh, yeah. This might be one of those very few nights where I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. I thankfully still have a bladder like a steel trap. The mind, not so much, but the bladder, yes. I very rarely wake up. I apologize. I know I will fuck up your name, and if you'll give me a pronunciation, I will say your name. But the question is, when does one know they're not a newbie anymore in the kink world? I currently don't know how to answer that question, and time alone doesn't make sense because the intensity is different. I would say because you're right. There's no you've done this for 6 months, you don't have to call yourself a newbie.
Right.
I think it's a confidence level, maybe. I think it's also do you feel like you know yourself? There's never a point where you know everything.
No.
Do you... I hesitate to say this because this is not universally good advice. Nothing is, but this is really not. Do you feel like you could tell you of 6 months ago how to do something that you do now, and with risk assessment and consent. Like, could you explain something to somebody who knows less than you and help them understand a concept? That's not always good advice, because sometimes people aren't good at that in general, and sometimes there are plenty of people who think they're definitely great at something and should not give advice. But can you walk into a kink space and feel like you have some level of understanding? You will never know it all. It is a constant lifelong learning situation. And I think that probably some people consider themselves newbies long after they need to, and I think that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I also think that there are people who think that they are extremely experienced who have no business telling anybody they're experienced. So that's a judgment call on a personal level. But that's how I would think of it. What about you? What would you think?
I think it's a matter of having an understanding of what you want from the BDSM world, knowing your boundaries, your limits, and not being afraid to state them. I think it's the ability of, understanding your kink and even being able to recognize when something is wrong.
Experience is knowing that you don't know shit, because too many true newbies come in and have read a couple of resources, maybe listened to a podcast, and think they know something. And they don't know anything yet. They're getting there, but not yet.
I have been kinky for a long time. And, in the community since mid-90s.
Nobody would call you a newbie.
No.
But there are skills that you learn where you become a newbie again.
Right. I still explore new things. I'm always learning something. Exactly. She joked at me a number of times because, as long as I've been in the lifestyle, there are times I still attend, 101 workshops. And why do I do that? Because sometimes I gain different perspectives on things. I learn new little tips and tricks, and, so it is a learning process all the time.
Sure. Exactly. And I when did I stop feeling like I was a newbie? I did not consciously stop thinking of myself as a newbie. Like, I didn't one day go, today I'm a newbie, and the next day I went, I am not a newbie. For me, there was a time I still kind of went, oh, I'm definitely still a newbie. And then I stopped just thinking of that term and applying it to myself. It wasn't that I checked in and went, am I a newbie today? It was like, I just didn't think of it anymore because I was living my kink life, and whether I was new at it or not became irrelevant. I was just living it. So I don't know at what point that was. I don't know, was it 2 years in, 3 years in, 5 years in? I don't know. But there came a point that I just did not apply that label to myself or think, when I call myself experienced? I know I have experience, but the thing is I know I have experience in the kinks that I do in the relationship that I have, and within the community. Like, I've gained some knowledge because I've done things often enough that I'm like, I feel like I have an understanding of this. With the understanding, I will also learn something new every time. But when we do a new thing, I immediately go, oh, to this thing, I'm a newbie. I don't have a clue. But that doesn't negate all the other experience I've got either. So.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and as the conversation in the live chat about sexuality and embarrassment and figuring it out, started working on how I felt just about my own sexual self before I figured out I was kinky. I did it semi-publicly on a blog that anybody could read if they wanted to. It wasn't like super popular blog, but anybody could have read it. So I actually did the not the sexuality in terms of, am I fully straight? I don't think so. I'm not even taking the time to think about that. But like how I feel about my body and sex and orgasms and masturbation and the things that were part of my sexual shame that I went through. I did that before I figured out I was kinky, which for me I think was very helpful, because then I wasn't dealing with, but I still feel, I can't talk to you about masturbation. I was like, I figured out I can have an orgasm. Let's do that together. I was more worried about what is being submissive as a cis woman living in this society mean, and am I still a feminist because I'm submissive? So we all go through our stuff, and you can only just kind of take it day by day, situation by situation, and explore who you are, and hopefully find community, find partners, find friends who are non-judgmental, because if they are judgmental, they are not friends, community, or a good partner.
Right.
So that you have the safety and the space to explore that and figure yourself out. And also, it's a rare soul indeed who does not deal with shame or confusion or am I weird for whatever your thing might be that you don't know about. Like, most of us go through it.
Yeah. I did too. I mean, years and years ago, I came out as bisexual and caught such backlash from people I thought were friends. I just kind of crawled back in the closet, so to speak.
You were in your 50s before you told me you were bisexual.
Yeah.
You were, was it just last year, 60? Before you came out as pansexual?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, so late 50s.
Yeah.
Almost 60.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifelong process.
Yep.
All of this is. All of it is.
Yep.
So that's kind of the fun of it. I think if, depending on your personality type, it can be overwhelming is what I'm trying to say. I didn't finish that thought. And I say this because I'm that type of person. If I try to wrap my mind around the fact that at the very early stages of learning a thing, that I will still be learning about this for the rest of my life, that feels too big. That feels like too much, because what I'm thinking of in that moment is that I'm learning, I'll have to learn all of it forever. And what I'm not thinking of is I'll learn a thing and I'll get confident about it, and then I'll move on to a new step and I'll learn something else. We don't think in those terms. If you are a person who gets overwhelmed by that thought, you are not alone. I too am like that, but I've gained some perspective. I know it's all steps, and it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or it's a winding path, or it's the squiggly line of progress instead of a straight line of progress. But no kinkster knows at all. I don't care if they tell you, but they've been in the lifestyle 50 years. Does a person in the lifestyle for 50 years know some shit that most of us don't know? Sure. But they also might have taken on some really false beliefs from 50 years ago and hadn't shed them yet. So they might not be, they might not be the greatest resource either. Plus, if they, after 50 years in the kink lifestyle, still aren't learning new things, they are not paying attention. We're constantly, works in progress.
And Elizabeth, that's not unusual to go through phases like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, nothing is you are one thing and that's what you are. I mean, even myself, I go through phases where I'm not feeling very sexual, and then I am again for a while.
And how we feel about that is less about us as an individual and often a lot more about what's going on in our life and the stage of life. I promise you, when I was changing diapers and cleaning spit up, not my most sexual self. The summer I was 19, and I always say I lost my damn mind, I was hypersexual. I don't know if that's, I don't want to use that word because that's like an actual term. I was very sexual. When I first found kink, holy shit, okay, was who was looking at me cross-eyed that, understood consent. I was there for a while until I, started actually sort of dating more seriously. Right now I'm in a period of what even is sex and why do I care? There's other things like it's the ebb and flow of life too.
And something that is a big misconception with people, especially just coming into BDSM, that you have to be sexual to do it. You don't.
No, kink is not automatically sexual.
No, I mean
it is highly sexualized by a lot of people. But
there are times we do stuff, whether it's spanking, other things.
It's not sex.
There's no sex involved.
It's a stress relief. It's a point of connection,
yeah.
and then we go our ass to bed because we got a busy day.
The whole portion of our relationship, our power exchange, that is not sexualized. Now there are times. There are things that it does become that, but it's not a given. It doesn't have to be that way.
I think if I stopped learning new stuff about myself and figuring out stuff and I think life would get very boring.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Andre.
Thank you, Andre.
But also one of the things I've had to learn is that there's an ebb and flow, and that the thing I'm wildly into today, I will not wildly be into forever, or something will get in the way, or I'll have something new to learn about myself, or I will hit a trigger I did not know I had, and now we have to deal with a thing I did not know we had to deal with. Like, that's just the way of life. Kitsune asks, why do many men have problems wearing condoms? I can't answer that.
Yeah.
The kind of men I want to be around don't have a problem with
right.
it. The kind of men I have they aren't going to get my time and attention. Sadly, I have found in retrospect and looking back, I didn't see it at the time, they were giving signals they were not the ones I wanted. Maybe they said the right thing, maybe they did a couple things, and I was like, oh, maybe. And then they were like, oh, I don't want to wear a condom. Nope. Yeah. Mr. Spock's got the right words: selfishness, stupidity, arrogance. I hesitate to use terms like real men because that's not, because that's right up there with the true ways and whatever. I don't like to use that. But my snarky side goes, real men don't have a problem with it.
Right.
Responsible partners are not going to have a problem with it. We do things all the time we don't like. I know that wearing a condom dulls sensations. I'm aware, but you know what? You know what dulls sensations? Violating a partner's limits, unwanted pregnancy, transmission of things that didn't need to be transmitted. Like, yeah, no.
So,
yeah. No. Now, I will say I don't think enough people get good information on properly fitting condoms. True. And finding the right condom for them. And I think that if that leads you to really dislike condoms, you're probably going to have an immature kind of response to it, maybe at some point until you mature. But that's an education problem.
True. Very true.
But Elizabeth, there's no such thing as normal in any of what we do. Is it possible? Yes. Many people are kinky and might not have a kinky relationship. There's people who, for them, kink is what they do, and for others, it's kink is who they are. Both are valid. If you are a person who goes, kink is who I am, then you're
a state of mind.
Right. Then you're kinky when you're not being kinky. I'm kinky right now. I'm not doing a damn kinky thing. Hadn't stopped being kinky. I'm kinky when I have to go buy milk. I'm kinky when I'm sitting in, my aunt's house talking about, oh God help us, politics. Like, I'm kinky when I'm not doing kinky stuff. So yes. Yeah. Normal's not, it's not a helpful word. And kink, nothing of what we do is considered air quote normal. Just toss that word right on out.
Yeah.
Common, typical. Half of what we do is not common either. So it's not even common. And what is typical? I don't know. Somebody else's standard. The most liberating part of life for me so far has been the hardest part. And that is accepting myself as I am in this moment. Imperfect. Plenty to fucking learn. Gonna make 10 million mistakes. But also having spent the previous 42 years leading up to this moment trying to figure out who I am and having some kind of way to explain to myself, because I'm the only one who matters, who I am, and going, okay, that's who I am, and being comfortable with it is liberating as fuck. Nobody else has to understand it. Nobody else has to agree with it. I just got to find at least one partner in this life who's like, that's who you are in your meat sack. I like who you are in your meat sack. Yeah. And we move on from there.
Night, Kim.
Night, Kim. But I do also understand having a lot of fears and insecurities and worries, and because we're taught by mainstream society that you're supposed to have those, and if what you want to do something outside of the mainstream, and God help us if a partner's taught us that somehow, or a parent, our parents and how they act and talk and think about sex tends to impact us more than we know. So, yeah. I have not heard that. Okay, it says, I heard there are now pain receptors that let you feel pain with a VR headset. Virtual impact play. I have not heard that, but that would be interesting. I'd love to read a little bit of like the science and the technology behind that.
Right.
Because that would be really cool if there could be a way to take any kind of activity, consensual, of course, and have the opportunity to maybe experience it virtually.
Right.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
That would definitely take online
long distance
relationships to a different level.
Online DS, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Night, Elizabeth.
Yeah. I have only seen like the ones that have been the most popularized, but I can't get over. I'm thinking of future tech and futuristic stuff. The pictures that are coming back from the James Webb Space. I can't think of the whole name of that.
Oh,
basically camera into space taking pictures.
The space telescope. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've
gorgeous.
It
looks like something that a top artist painted out of their imagination. It doesn't even look real to me.
I think what really struck me when I saw those was they showed one picture that they had taken with the new as compared to the same picture taken with Hubble.
The clarity.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And then there was one, I know this because Vlogbrothers, today was Hank's video.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he talked about it. And he showed one picture that kind of looks like a bunch of little smudges. And he goes, you see this? This is like thousands of galaxies in this one snapshot. And I'm like, we can't possibly think we're alone out
I know.
here. It's just not even possible.
Yeah.
That's been so cool. Yeah, the ones where it's like the gaseous looking cloud kind of things. I don't know what they actually are, but that's what they look like. Oh, is that? Okay.
I think maybe nebulas, yeah.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
They're so beautiful. Like, I just want one on a t-shirt. I am officially at a point in life where my mind is blown by how far certain like technologies advance. Like, I'm like, I don't always know how to work my phone, and I can't imagine some of the technologies that are starting to come out and be talked about and be developed, and it's amazing. But I'm still also that person who is not gonna have a camera in her doorbell. Like, I don't want smart technology in my house. I don't want my house listening to me.
there was a time I was the remote control.
I know. I was the remote control when I went to visit my great grandmother because she had that big box wooden TV.
Like a console?
Yeah. She had one of those. Yeah. But yeah, I don't like smart technology in homes. I think it's cool what it can do, but I don't want it.
I don't know.
That's my old person coming out.
That new smart thermostat we got, I kind of like it.
It's not as smart as some other thermostats. I'm okay with that. That's basic. That's almost one step above analog. Like, we can control it with our phone, but I can't talk to it and tell it to do something. You know what I mean? So, yeah. No, there are times you patiently walked me through how to turn on our smart TV.
Yes.
And I still have to call a child if you're not here and be like, I'm struggling. Don't remember the steps. But I know what the hell a VHS is, so I don't want to hear any crap from anybody younger than me. I can identify a cassette tape when I see it and know what to do with it. Or I did not ever figure out if this little 2-second clip I saw of a TikTok that of course got cross-posted to Reels was a parody or real. But it was clearly somebody's child saying they could not open the plastic cassette case. They weren't opening it at the seam. They were opening it at that little hinge part. And I was like, is that a parody that got cross-posted to Instagram as fact? Or was this child unable to figure this out? I want to believe it was parody. I want to believe they were being ironic or sarcastic, but I don't know because I didn't see the original. And I'm like, please tell me you can figure out how to open up a plastic case. I mean, come on.
I
can turn on a supercomputer and make it work 30 seconds out of the box.
I remember if it was a meme or a T-shirt. It might have been both. It was a picture of a pencil next to a cassette tape.
The cassette tape? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you know the struggle.
And yet, you know what? I'm not going to be one of those old people who's like, oh, it was better. No, the fuck it wasn't. I could not carry a supercomputer in my damn pocket. It's better now. I at least recognize.
It was better than 8 tracks.
Here's the sad thing. The only reason I even have a memory or a kind of working knowledge of 8 tracks is because my parents were so broke, they were driving a car that should have been retired 10 years before, long enough into the 80s. The 8 tracks were gone. Cassette tapes were the thing, but their car, old and ratty as it was, still had the 8-track player in it. Oh, God.
Wow, when I got an 8-track player in my first car, I thought
you thought you were the shit.
I thought I was some shit, yeah.
When I got, finally, the cassette converter that let me play my CD Walkman thing, whoo! Nobody could tell me nothing till we hit a speed bump or a pothole and the whole thing skipped. Why did anybody think that was a good idea? Oh, yeah. And now, get in the car with one of the kids. It's like, I got the aux, and it took me the longest time to figure out what's the aux. Oh, the aux cord. Okay. I'm over here like, I just want to listen to podcasts, and they're like, I'm listening to Spotify. Here's my whole playlist. I made a playlist for this ride to this place. I'm like, oh, okay, we got a theme. I'm cool with it. But do I do it? No, I don't do it. So, Silent Wing described the room that we all know. Yes. The wood paneled TV, the beige/brown floral velour couch, wood trim, yes. Ours was not brown beige. It was puke green. The flowers were the brown beige, definitely the wood trim, and it was already old when we first got it in late 80s, and the center, seat part, sagged in the center. Oh, yeah. Did we have the puke green carpet? No. Yeah, did we? Oh, we did also do the early 90s, mid 90s thing when we moved to Mississippi, and that was our first real house. We lived in a tin can before. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Anyway, the carpet on the floor, neutral was not in our vocabulary. One room had a bright pink carpet. One room had a dark blue carpet. One room had a light blue carpet. The rooms that didn't have that had tile, because that was kind of, from my perspective as a teenager, that was becoming a new thing. And then accent walls were the thing, but it was accent walls with wallpaper, which are definitely coming back, because I'm watching, somehow I get on lifestyle Instagram reels, and I don't know how, but there we are. But it was the southwestern patterns. And so, but there'd be this one thread of pink in barely there in the wallpaper, and that was the pink of the carpet because it coordinated.
I have one thing to add to that.
But you know how that was an improvement, because the house before we did all of that had the dark wood paneling.
And I was going to say the wood paneling.
In our tin can house, every wall was the dark wood paneling with the black lines of between the panels,
the
slats, and then we had the mirrors that had it was the mirror, and then that gold marbly thing on not the trim
not
around it, but
trim?
on the mirror itself.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yes.
We had a whole wall of it, but we didn't have one piece of glass. It was like 12 by 12 pieces of glass that you stuck. And so because it wasn't one, you could see the lines between. We had the poor person's version, I guess. Oh my God. Oh, height of 80s. Yeah. Whatever. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm not a fan of olive green color in general, and that shag carpet back in the day. Whoo.
Yeah.
Whoo.
And the appliance colors.
Yes, Andre, the working TV that sat on, because the non-working TV was a beast. It was like £1,000,000.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we got, I don't know, were they still called the flat screen? Because it wasn't the old tube style, but it was flat, and it was a big screen, but it was still about this wide.
The projection TVs?
I don't know. I was too young to pay any attention. But when that one finally broke down, when I was about to graduate high school, it took 3 human adults to get it out to the curb for the trash to pick up. It was so big. It was big and heavy.
And that's I remember that with my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had one of those big console TVs.
Mm-hmm.
The TV was in the center, and then on one side it had a thing that flipped up, and there was like a turntable.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other side flipped up, and you had a radio that you could...
One of these days I'm going to have to ask my mother how we had this. So we had an OK TV.
Mm-hmm.
It had been new at some point. It was not the big console. Yeah. Somehow we had a serious like music system with speakers in glass. It was in one of those glass things.
Yeah.
With the turntable, and we had a cassette player. And I think it might have even had an 8-track. Like, I don't know who they were selling this for.
Yeah.
But it was in this glass case with the shelves,
mm-hmm.
and it had those glass doors that you hit them, push, and they pop out. I don't know what that's called. And I don't know how we had that. Yeah. We literally had nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, our cars that we had for years until we moved to Mississippi were held together with spit and wishes. Like, that's the only thing keeping these cars on the road. But we had that. Yeah. Maybe it was a wedding present when they got married?
That was the thing with my grandma. I mean, she had that console TV for years. And when it died, it did not leave the house.
Yeah, nothing did.
It became...
It was part of the furniture.
Yeah, it was part of the furniture, and it became where the new TV now sat.
Okay. Do you remember this? Because I know this was... My dad made these, but it was fashionable. He made them because he could make them cheaper. 2 things I remember from my childhood, and one was cool and one was nightmarish, okay? And one year when we were really broke, we turned the nightmarish thing into our Christmas tree. Like, we were broke every year, but like, it was a bad year. We had a lamp that was a tree trunk that the limbs had been cut off on. So it was like, like 2 or 3 sticking up at the top, but it had clearly one time been a tree. And it had been wired somehow, and there was a light bulb, no lampshade. There was a light bulb on the top, and it plugged in. But it was a tree lamp, no lampshade. Did you ever see that? Okay.
No.
So I never knew, was this my dad's imagination and creativity? He had been a tree climber, tree surgeon, like he did that kind of work in the 70s and then early 80s till he got hurt. Y'all, he fell out of the tree, broke his neck, and lived to tell the tale. Is wild. But the other thing we had 3 things. We also had the wood slice of the trunk that was the clock. Do you remember that?
Those I remember, yes.
So I listened to a podcast, I think, about it, where people realized that people were loving these things, and whoever started making them was like making serious bank until other people realized they could make these clocks, and then it like... the value wasn't quite there, but everybody fucking had them in 70s or 80s. I'm not sure. I saw them in the 80s. Then the other one was a table where it was another slice of a big old tree trunk, but it was like real thick because it needed to be our coffee table? I think it might have been our coffee table. And then it was like, it was not a trunk that was the limbs, it was somebody had taken a piece of wood that they had then clearly cut for firewood and turned that into the legs of a table. And then there was no natural finish. There was no wood butter finish. It was lacquered within an inch of its life. High shine. Nothing stuck to this thing. Nothing gouged it. Like, it was heavy, not because the wood was heavy, but because whatever they lacquered it with added 20 pounds. Yeah. Did you see any of those, or was that just my weird family? The tree trunk lamp with no lampshade was our Christmas tree one year.
Gonna have to say, the table thing, they've kind of updated them now. They do the slab tables now with the resin.
Oh, they've definitely updated them. Yeah. The river tables are beautiful. Yes, it was not the 80s unless you could see yourself in the wood. Yeah, that is so true. Right. Like, I can close my eyes and think about that high shine. I just thought wood was shiny. Look, I was like 7, okay? I was also the one that had the lampshadeless tree lamp as a Christmas tree one year, okay? We put the light, we put garland around it, and it wasn't even like what I would consider, like, it was not to me a pretty wood, and it was not lacquered within an inch of its life. It didn't have a full high shine, just like, it was almost like a polyurethane shine. But it was a yellowy wood. I don't know what tree. I never thought to ask. Not a clue.
Yeah.
But all of the other wood things, the table, the clock, deep dark wood that kind of went with our olive green velour couch. Kind of, if you squinted, went with the recliner lazy boy that was old when we got it. That was a dark blue color. And then there was that tree trunk lamp. I need to ask my mother about it.
Yes. Yeah, go pledge.
Pledge!
Yes.
Oh my God, yes, we cleaned with pledge.
Polish
all
the furniture.
All the time.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. My memories of this tree lamp are like, it was rough looking. It was rough. It was my dad's lamp too. It was right behind his recliner. It's the light he read by. I need to ask my mother.
Yeah.
Help me remember to ask my mother.
and silent new woodworking projects. I do have a few things.
Well, she was joking about the tables and clogs. Okay. But you do have some projects.
I do, yeah. But well, hey, tree lamp.
Please tell me. I mean, it was. Now, I was a kid, so I don't actually know how tall it was, but from my very childlike perspective, it was 5 feet tall.
With some resin and LED lighting.
I don't want to update this. I don't. I have a vague memory of it being super tall. Like, it felt tall to me as a kid.
Oh, gosh.
And my entire 80s spent in that tin can. There was the tree lamp. I think we got rid of it when we moved to Mississippi. Which forbidden paddle? There's so many.
I know. I can't remember now. Yeah, I turned 61. My memories.
I know. Mine's already gone. I mean, you're stuck with me. I have not had a mind like a steel trap in a very long time.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's after midnight.
I know. We have to go be sociable with my family tomorrow.
Yes.
Somebody has to help me remember to ask my mother about this damn tree lamp.
I'll bring it up tomorrow at dinner.
Oh, you are not using that on me paddle? I don't think it was a paddle. I think it's a something else. I know exactly. The one I'm thinking of is not a paddle, but it's a something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you're not using that on me. We haven't had a chance to work on it. We need to get on that.
Yeah, I know. It's I was actually going to start last weekend with some of them, but the weather has just not been kind to doing a lot of
there's resin involved, and pouring resin in this weather is awful.
Yeah.
Is awful.
I have a small pour to do in the morning for a custom order I'm working on, but I have to get up at an ungodly hour to do it before it gets too hot.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Once he gets some made, we'll share them in Discord/Patreon first. Because you're going to make enough, and then we're going to...
Right.
Sort of like the cutting boards, and then put them out. Once we have access to our website.
I'm a sadist, Silent. I'm a sadist, of course.
Through and fucking through, y'all. He's a sadist. No question. None.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. I can't believe I'm still up for somebody who did not sleep well last night.
Well, I slept a little better last night than I have in a few days, but I'm still tired.
Hopefully you sleep good tonight. I mean,
hope so.
technically it was a wild day, but it was a good day.
Yeah.
Pleasant surprises all the way around.
Yes.
So I almost feel sorry for anybody who just like happens upon us, doesn't know us, and is like, who the hell are these people? Right? Whatever, we're fun. And we will take you down memory lane, and you might be horrified with us.
Nothing else, we're good for a laugh.
Either laughing with us or at us.
Right.
Either one's not my problem. Okay, we're going to go because now I'm just like...
Yeah, we got to go.
And I probably need to go to the bathroom. That was 2 big old waters.
Yes.
On top of the waters I had earlier, so I got all my water in for that.
Right. You did good.
So clearly what we need to do is stream every night until midnight so I can drink water and...
You'll be sitting here alone. I'm sorry.
Loving BDSM After Dark, where we talk about our childhood from the 80s and drink water because we live on the edge around here. Loving BDSM After Dark, where we don't talk about sex. I cannot do every night.
We need to get some...
Andre, you're not helping. I have been reasonably well behaved. Look, this isn't even fun because I can't sell any right now because damn site's still down. So yeah, we'll show you a slapstick in action, and then you can't even... No, that's not a slapstick.
I know.
That is not a slapstick.
I don't have one handy.
Aw, no. Oh, no, I'm good. Ow. On that note, we're gonna go.
Night, folks.
And now it's officially a kink live stream podcast YouTube channel. Silent, you are also not helping. But that's why we love you. Okay, we're gonna go. It's not a round number, but it's an even number, so let's go with that.
There you go.
Okay, we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yep.
If you listen to the podcast, hopefully that'll get up soon. We love you guys. Okay, bye.
Night.